Hello!
Hello!
Welcome to Elympian. We're going to be doing Shadows of Brimstone Adventures, how to play. We're going to be doing this long form, so it's going to be under the pretense of like you're a new player, sitting at the table, learning to play as if this was a learn to play game. Our good friend Odin here has never played. Odin, would you like to introduce yourself?
I'm Odin. I do streaming and I mod for this guy.
Yeah,
Odin Mercer.
We do live play content usually, so that's what we're set up for. So that's how this YouTube video is going to kind of be. We're not all Rodney Smith. I wish we were, but we're not. So it's not going to be as clean or edited. And this is JC.
I'm JC. Yeah.
He's my co-host.
Yep.
Part owner of this channel. I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah.
He's here. He plays games.
You
with
heard
me.
it here. I own the channel.
Part owning the channel.
They own the channel. I run the channel.
That's
It's
right.
true. That's how it
He's actually
works.
the boss. You were gigging about Rodney Smith over there. I don't know.
I don't know who Rodney Smith
You don't know
is.
who Rodney Smith is? Oh man, watch it played. If he's going to do a video for this, it's going to be much better than ours.
Oh,
Go watch
so much
that
better.
instead.
Yeah.
What we're going to do is we're going to be teaching you how to play Shadows of Brimstone Adventures. Shadows of Brimstone is our favorite game of all time. We play it.
Great game.
Odin's new to it. He's played a couple times with us, but we just carried him along, kind of thing. Like, do this, do that. Not like telling you how to play your character, but like, this is why you're doing that. You don't need to know why you're doing that.
Yeah.
Just do it. But what we're going to do is try to teach you how to play this.
Yep.
So the first thing, hopefully you have your Shadows of Brimstone, and these rules also work for Shadows of Brimstone core set as well. So if you're playing Shadows of Brimstone at all, this is the video for you to watch.
And you should get your copy. We'll wait.
Right.
We'll wait here.
All right.
You go get yours. Come back.
All right, welcome back. So the first thing is you're going to crack open your box and you're going to see packs of cards and you're going to see sprues of plastic. So let's
Sprues of
flip over.
Yeah.
There you go.
There it
you go.
is.
Sprues of plastic.
Sprues of
Your
plastic.
creatures and your things are going to be on pieces of plastic like this.
And then you'll need to cut them out with some fun snippers like this.
Yeah, getting snips
Snip,
like
snip.
that would be great. And then the biggest thing that we can recommend is get testers,
Plastic
cement, plastic, or plastic cement for miniatures. You can see we've used up that
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
It makes putting these models together astronomically easier
So much
than
easier.
super glue. You're not gluing your fingers together.
As someone who does this just a little bit though,
Show
it
it.
does kind of melt the plastic a little bit, for lack of a better. So be very careful, especially when you're first starting with it.
Use it sparingly.
To use it sparingly. Don't let it squeeze out too much, and then just be patient and hold the pieces together.
It doesn't take
for a
very
minute.
long.
Yeah, it doesn't take very long. but
Not
you just-
nearly as bad as super glue.
It doesn't take super long, but just know that like it's going to take a second, and then maybe sit that one to the side and put together another one if it's kind of a big one. There are some, if you're not playing this specific one, there are some figures. What's the one with the big wings?
The Harbinger.
So the Harbinger, when you're putting that together, it goes together well, but it's in kind of a different stance and it's kind of heavy. So just put it together step by step. And same with these is like, if you're finding that, oh, this is kind of falling over, glue it together, let it sit, and then go to the next piece.
And so these are how, unpainted, but this is how they come together.
Your heroes.
Your heroes, your monsters, they'll end up looking like this. And then you throw some paint on them, really ups the quality on them. Shadows of Brimstone is this kind of like halfway point between like a miniatures game like Warhammer 40K, Infinity, any of those games, and more board games. So it's a more board game version of those. And if you don't really know what Shadows of Brimstone is, it is a cooperative dungeon delve game. But if you're here, you probably have your core set and you want to learn how to play. So you got your minis put together, you've got them cemented together, put them all together, and you are part of the way there to start. The next thing you want to do is all of these cards, you're going to have just stacks of cards. Just separate them into their different sets.
Just match the backs together.
Just match the backs together and just separate them out. Brimstone is a large game. It's going to take up a big table. You're not going to play this on your coffee table in the living room. You're going to need your kitchen table to play this. But it's worth it. It is worth it.
Yeah, we're not showing you core Brimstone, but the organizations that goes into core Brimstone is a lot.
Especially
There's
once
a
you have
lot.
all the expansions and all that.
Which we do.
Which we do. There's almost another game in the game, which is how do I store my Brimstone? How do I sort it? But the nice thing about Adventures is it's a nice small box. It will go back
Everything
into the box.
fits back into the box.
It goes back into the box, so you can treat it a lot more like a board game.
Yep.
Until you get addicted and you start buying expansion after expansion after expansion, and you just got so much stuff.
Do look for our game Brimstone Organization Simulator on Steam
right?
next year.
Right? It's going to be the sequel to Unpacking. You're just putting like minis into boxes. It's going to be pretty great.
It's VR.
Yeah.
Right? Really poor VR though.
Yeah,
Like
really
not
poor.
It's like Job Simulator.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So you got the cards sorted.
Yep.
What you're going to want to do,
Get this out overhead.
let's get us overhead here.
Look at that.
The ones that are going to be important for you to start with, that you really want to have separated, is you want your Norse Lands map deck, your loot deck, your scavenge deck, growing dread. We will get to threat cards in a second. Norse Lands encounters, Norse Lands artifacts, gear, and darkness. Now, for which threat deck that matters, you're going to go to either the very back of the rulebook. There's a little handy guide right there, or page numero 11 in the rulebook. There's another little handy chart right here. Based upon the number of players, it's going to tell you which threat deck to use. So for us, there's 3 players, and it's even on the card as well, so it's handily printed on the card. 3 to 4 heroes, you're going to grab the yellow medium threat deck. The other thing you'll notice in that chart is it'll tell you if you get revive tokens or not. Since we are playing a 3-player game here, we will get 1 revive token, and we'll talk about revive tokens when one of us dies.
Yep.
So, those are your cards set up. You're also going to want to find this tile here. This is the beginning of the adventure. Almost all the adventures, you start on that tile. You're going to have your depth track, which we will get into. And then there's also going to be tons and tons of these tokens here.
Lots of tokens.
So you're going to have tokens out the wazoo. You're going to want to get token sorting things of some sort. So we have
a wooden thing, or ramekins, or a token organizer, whatever you got.
Token organizers. If you want to be cheap here and thrift, go to your local like little antique shop. Any place that will have like used ramekins, you can pick them up for cheap. They look great. That's like a little old bell jar thing. Works great.
Those were great. The little tackle box sorters.
Oh yeah,
tackle
box
little
sorters
tackle
are great.
boxes.
Yeah.
You could get away doing this like super cheap on a budget. You don't need to spend a lot of money and buy the nice fancy wood ones like we have over there. You can use whatever.
Yeah.
Also, if you have someone who burns a lot of candles in your house, like
the candle jars.
Save those candles.
Little votives.
Yeah.
Just save those. They work wonderful. You're going to want to sort your tokens, but there's going to be 8 exploration tokens.
Those will stay out.
Those will stay out. You'll want to pull those out and give those a shuffle.
And put them next to the map.
Put them next to the map. At that point, Lord is mostly set up, and the next thing we need to do is character creation.
Yeah, build your hero.
So what we're going to do is we're going to floop on over to this camera here.
All right, here we go.
And walk
Viking
you
Raider.
through how character creation works. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to have everyone pick which character they want to play as.
So
There's going to be 4 different options in the adventure. There is 2 different Brimstone Adventures. We are playing Gates of Valhalla for this video, which is the Viking set. There's also Valley of the Serpent Kings, which is Conquistadors and Serpentmen. 99% of these rules are going to be exactly the same. There'll be specific character abilities and things that are different. That's why they're different sets. And there'll be specifically different monsters. But as far as the rules go,
base rules are transferred.
Base rules are across the same across all Brimstone sets. So the first thing that you're going to notice is a bunch of these numbers here up at the top. These are your attributes. So that's your agility, strength, cunning, lore, spirit, and luck. Keep in mind that whenever you do a test, it will usually ask you to do a test of one of those skills. Oh, there's boulders falling. Are you strong enough to catch them? Do a strength test.
Yeah.
Or are you agile enough to jump out of the way?
That makes a little
probably
sense.
Probably makes a little bit more sense. what this tells you is the number of dice that you get to roll.
Yep.
So if you have an agility of 1, you roll 1d6. But I noticed that that raider there has a strength of 3. If it was a strength test and he was trying to catch the boulders to save his friends, he would roll 3d6.
Yep.
We will get into more details whenever we go over actual encounters as we play. The encounter will tell you what number you need to roll for success. So you'll see something like strength 4+ test.
Yeah.
So in that case, you would roll 3 dice, and you're trying to get a 4+ on one of those dice. You'll have your initiative in green over here. So initiative 2, that determines how fast you are. Whenever you are activating each round, you go by your initiative. In the middle is a bunch of small text that is your special abilities. In Shadows of Brimstone Adventures, all the characters have the same middle ability, so it's much easier to learn and keep that in mind.
We've all got the same abilities. You'll notice some minor differences like the maximum rage, but also the key difference in that area is going to be your starting gear along the bottom.
Right, so along the bottom there's what starting items you start with. So we see that that character starts with
a Viking axe, a raider's helmet, a heavy fur, and a shield.
There it is. All right. Now back to the character sheet. Some more very important pieces down at the bottom. In small, in that bottom corner there, under 2 hit, you see combat and max grit. It's usually 2 of each. So that means whenever you're going to punch something or slice something with your axe, you get to make 2 attacks. You roll 2 dice to do it whenever you're punching something. That max grit, we will get to grit as we're playing the game and learning to play, but grit lets you do a bunch of different stuff. It lets you re-roll, add additional movement, enable special abilities. Some specific encounters or situations call for you to spend grit to do things. Next to that, you have your to hit values. So if this character was trying to make a ranged attack, if he was shooting a bow or shooting a gun, or because we're going to go to crazy other worlds, a laser or some grenade launcher or something like that, to fire that, they would roll whatever the number of shots is on the gun, and then for every 5+, they get a hit. And then same thing next to that, melee. So he starts with this Viking axe. He's going to be hitting things with that Viking axe. He has a combat of 2, so he's going to roll 2d6 to whenever he's attacking, and for every 4+, he gets a hit. Next to that, we have our defenses. So under health and sanity, that's how many hit points you have. So think of it as you have physical hit points, and then you also have mental hit points. That's your sanity. We love to refer to it as brain punches when you're getting your sanity attacked. That 4+ and that 3+ are how good you are at defending. So whenever you are attacked with melee, you go to defend, and if you roll a 4+, it doesn't hit you. You don't care. You get out of the way. This is one area where the characters are drastically different. So if you look at the Berserker here, the Berserker has 16 hit points, but only a 5+ save. And inversely, 8 sanity, which is really low, but a 3+ save, which is pretty strong.
It's pretty brave.
So he's brave, but he can't take very much. All the characters in this set are 3+ willpower saves, and then your health are kind of different from there. Your starting items, give your starting items a read over. They will enable specific things for you. Like, let's take a look at these pants here. They increase your health by 3. Those furs there. So your max health is increased. So this character would have 13 health instead of just 10. The way that you would keep track of that, and let's show this off. This is a campaign game. This is a legacy game. You're going to be leveling up. Your characters are going to be leveling up with you. In the back of the adventure book, there is going to be a character sheet, a blank character sheet. And it even gives you permission to photocopy it. So They're also available on the Shadows of Brimstone website. There's some custom-made ones on Board Game Geek and around the internet. Some people make some really nice custom ones. There's some fillable ones that are like PDF implementations where you don't have to write things. So print off a copy of one of these, grab one of the digital ones, but get yourself blank character sheets and transfer all of the information of your character over.
And are these the same in all of the Brimstone games?
Yep. The like artwork is different, but the core
what the bubbles
are the same across the board.
Yeah.
So that's in the adventure book. You would have noticed that you have kind of 2 rule books, and unfortunately there are rules in both of these. So you'll want to spend the time to read through both of these. I know you're watching this video because you don't want to read rule books. We'll try to make sure we cover everything, but there are going to be some specific cases that might not come up in our teach here. The answers are in here. Otherwise, head on over to Facebook. On Facebook, there's a Shadows of Brimstone group that is very helpful, very friendly. I know they are very active over on Facebook. You're also on our YouTube. Leave a comment. If anything comes up that you don't know how to play in Brimstone, leave a comment. We'll answer you. Or come find us on Twitch. That'll be the best place to find us.
Yeah.
Twitch.tv/Elympian.
That's us.
There it is.
Thank you. That's why we brought our mod here.
There's not a command I can enter.
Come ask us. Hop on our Discord. Come spend time with us. We will happily talk about Brimstone all day, every day.
It's true.
All right.
So back to character creation. You've gotten your character. You've gotten your starting gear. We've talked about what the character sheet means. The next thing you're going to do is choose your starting upgrade. So each character gets to choose between, you get to choose one of these 2 options. And what they do is they will give you different abilities that change the way your character plays. So for example, this guy, let me pull these over to read real quick. You have the option to choose either Plunder or Battle Roar. Plunder lets you find more stuff and recover rage as you're doing so, which enables some of your abilities and gives you a chance to do more damage in battle. Whereas the Battle Roar ability is going to give you the chance to do more damage without using rage, and also let you recover more rage during a fight. So those abilities are right there. So you pick which one kind of suits the way you want to play more.
We're gonna do that one.
All right,
There it
you're gonna
is.
go with
Yeah.
Battle Roar. And so then that means that the first hit you assign, you get to do extra damage with, and once per fight you can use a grit to get some rage back.
Right. So that's one of those examples of getting to use rage to do something special.
Yeah.
All right.
So then the next thing is you're going to pick your personal item.
So you get to draw 1 personal item,
So that's from this
So you
deck.
get to-
and bam,
Don't you draw 2 and pick one?
That's
that's a house rule.
a
All right.
house rule. Yeah.
Look,
Okay.
this is another thing about this game. It is a cooperative dungeon delve game. There's going to be certain rules that you come across that you're just like, I don't know, I don't really like that. The back of the book even has variant rules.
Yeah.
They have some like pre-made variant rules. This is your game. If you're playing it and having fun, you're playing it correctly.
Exactly.
So what we like to do for personal items is draw 2 and then keep 1. Give you a little bit more
A little
option.
bit more of a choice, kind of like your personal upgrade. Give yourself the chance to choose how you're going to play your character.
Yeah.
But rules is written. You draw 1, you get your personal upgrade. In this case, we got Fur of the White Bear, which gives him a +2 health and +2 sanity. So he goes from being 13 health now up to 15 health. This guy is getting tanky.
He's got 11 sanity now because of that extra sanity as
Yep.
well. So this is why it's important to have that blank character sheet, because even at character creation, your attributes are going to be higher. Because like over here as an example, Odin pulled the runic ring, which gives him +1 lore. Yeah.
There it is.
+1 lore. So right off the bat, his lore is already better.
Yep.
So you're going to want to have one of those blank character sheets.
Do we have any blank character sheets?
We haven't printed anything out, but we will definitely have them for tomorrow, where we're going to be starting our campaign. The other thing that we want to talk about is get yourself a note card. And what we like to do is half of this is XP, half of this is gold. As you're playing this game, you're going to gain XP, you're going to gain gold. Keep track of it. This is kind of like the easiest way we found to keep track of XP and gold.
Okay, so getting back to character creation, the last thing you're going to do in building your character is grab a team ability. So one of the cool things about these team heroes is that they start out with team abilities. These are something that you get at the beginning of every adventure, and they give you a one-time use ability or option that you can have during the adventure. A lot of them are during a fight, but some of them are just at any time. So for example, this guy is pulled Battle Rage. Play at any time on a Viking hero until the end of the turn. That hero's rage tokens add +2 damage to the combat hit instead of only 1. So this guy can soup us up in a combat once at any time during the adventure, and he can pick someone to do some extra damage. Each one of the team abilities is different, but they give you a good chance to kind of buff your team or yourself, depending on how you're playing, and help you kind of give you a little bit of a leg up to push through some of those hard moments.
And this is one of those new things that's in Brimstone Adventures. So if you played previous Brimstone, this is one of the big new additions, new changes. Is they're team abilities, team tactics. The idea is that we are a cohesive team. We are a group of Vikings that have fought together, that have worked together, that have these abilities that let us help each other out. The same thing in the Valley of the Serpent Kings. You're a group of conquistadors that have worked together, trained together, and they only affect the other people. So if let's say we're playing 2 conquistadors and 2 Vikings, which you can do, the team abilities would only apply to the Viking team abilities would apply to the Vikings, and the conquistador team abilities would apply to the conquistadors. So you're not locked in, but the more of a team you have, the more of those you do get. So as of right now, the current teams that are available are going to be in Shadows of Brimstone Adventures, Gates of Valhalla, and Valley of the Serpent Kings. There's going to be a couple of additional expansion ones that come out. There's going to be the Tredaran Strike Team, which in this game you're going to portals to these other worlds and these different lands. One of those is Tredara. It's this kind of like World War I, World War II-esque world. Trench warfare. They've never stopped fighting it. There's 7 different factions all fighting on this planet, and the natives there are Tredarans. You get to play as a strike team of theirs. You're leaving Tredara to go raid new worlds, go find new weapons, whatever you want to, whatever stories you're telling with those characters.
So if you're a Brimstone fan, keep an eye out for that.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so we have our character created.
So the character is fully made. Let's get ready to go on an adventure.
All right, so the first thing you're going to want to do there, we have 7 first things, right? We're already at the 7 first thing you want to do. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to pick which adventure you go on. This is where the adventure book comes in. You can tell a story by going 1 through, how many adventures are in this one? 1 through 8 through the adventures. You can randomly pick. There's going to be tons of expansion content and other worlds, and there's so many adventures to go on. There's specific storybooks that are an entire story where it's like a story about you battling vampires, or a story about werewolves, succubus. There's 8 of those, 6 of those, somewhere in that ballpark. So there's so much content. This could be the only game you play for the rest of your life. There's that much content.
We have all these games around us, and that's basically what
we do is
Thomas does anyways.
And there's tons and tons of fan-made content. So there's fan-made classes, fan-made adventures,
fan-made mechanics too.
Fan-made mechanics.
You can do a hex crawl adventure.
Yeah, so if you want to up the campaign, you can go play the hex crawl. It's incredible how much stuff exists for this. Again, the board game, the BGG group for this is very active, and that Facebook group is I can't
hugely active.
There's also a small subreddit.
Small subreddit.
That will have some activity, and if you have questions, somebody may take a minute, but they'll also show up there.
Yeah,
true.
So
it
recommends that your very first adventure is going to actually be in the rule book. On page number 11 again, your very first game is Scouting Party.
Okay.
So this will give you a little bit condensed rules and what you're looking for. It'll walk you through how what you're doing and what you're looking for. So the vast majority of the adventures deal with these exploration tokens. So on these exploration tokens, someone want to show that over there? You're going to have these little...
Ooh, focus.
There it is. Rodney Smith is very mad at us right now for our terrible editing skills.
Yep.
This is whenever you open a door, and we'll get to what that means mechanically, you'll draw one of these tokens. If it has one of those red exclamation icons on it, you found a clue. The vast majority of the adventures in this game are you trying to find a certain number of clues. But that's not the only way you play it.
Yeah.
Some of the adventures in here have what's called a fixed map. It tells you build the map like this already before you go in, and you build this big intricate map. And there's some really fun ones like, oh, there's a cave system, really bad stuff is coming out of it. Go to these 4 rooms or these 6 rooms and put down a thing of dynamite.
Yeah.
And you got to go to all those rooms and put down a piece of dynamite and then get out.
Yeah.
There's some that have dynamic rooms, like where you'll actually be rotating what rooms. You're staying kind of in the same room, but then you're like attaching new ones to it as you're like flying through space and time.
There's lots of different kinds of adventures.
It's so incredible. We're going to be doing this scouting party mission, and open up your rulebook to page 11 and just look over this your first game real quick. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be looking for 2 exploration tokens. The first clue is the halfway point. The second clue is
two clues. On
2 clues. Yep. The hero's expedition has landed on unknown shores and has sent out a scouting party to investigate the area. So that's what we're doing. When you get to the second room, or to the second clue, I'm sorry. When you get to the second clue, that's going to be the last room.
Yep.
You will fight a creature that is 1 harder than what your deck of cards is. So for us, instead of fighting a yellow medium threat, we will fight a red high threat. In most adventures, you fight an epic threat in that last room.
Yep.
Which the epic threats are usually the big, awesome creature that comes in the box. So this is going to be the ice giant in this set.
Yeah.
If you have the older Brimstones, it's the Harbinger and the Goliath. In the Shadows of the or Valley of the Serpent Kings, it's the big crocodile, the big old crocodile guy, which is a really awesome mini.
Yeah.
All right, and then there's some rewards there. If you successfully complete the mission, you get some more XP, you get some more loot, etc. So at that point, you should be all ready to go. You might be wondering, what are all these other cards for? I see these Targa Plateaus. Like, what is Targa Plateau? This is one of those other worlds we're talking about. From time to time on one of these exploration tokens, you're going to have a little gate icon. So there'll be a little glowy gates.
Which is a,
There's going to be a little glow
at the top of the
glowy gates. Right there, like
right
that.
There at the top.
That means you're opening a gate to another world. In the adventure set that you're playing, if you're playing with just the adventure set in the core box, you only have one other world, and that's Targa Plateau. As you add expansion content and you have the Caverns of Cinder and Tradera and more Targa and more Jargono and the Derelict Ship and the Blasted Waste and more and more everywhere else.
Yeah.
The Valley of the Forest of the Dead, the Valley of the Beast. There's so many of them. You'll have more and more of these sets of cards when you go into those worlds. Those are the encounters you have. Those are the monsters you find there, because there'll be different monsters there. There'll be different map decks because you'll be finding new map tiles there. There'll be new artifacts. There'll be new gear. There'll be tons and tons of new stuff. Like I said, you can play this game forever.
Yeah.
There's just so much content. All right. So
I think we're ready to start.
We're ready to start. So let's swoop on over to the overhead.
Okay.
Bam. So here we are. Here is our starting tile.
So since we're getting ready to start an adventure, one thing that you want to make sure you've done for your heroes before you get rolling, everybody gets a grip. So you start the adventure with 1 grit, unless you have something that gives you extra. And then everybody gets to choose a starting
At character
side back
creation,
token.
you get to choose a side back token, which we missed in our character creation.
So you would get to choose either a tonic, which lets you recover a grit, bandages, which lets you heal D6 wounds, ale, which lets you heal D6 sanity, or for the Vikings, you could take 2 throwing axes that let you make a ranged attack with your melee to hit that does some extra damage, +2 damage. So you get to choose from any of these stacks, take which one. I took some ale.
I took 2 throwing axes.
And Odin took some tonic. So we got a little bit of a mix here. And we'll see how those come into play as we go through the adventure.
So the first thing you need to do is decide where you are starting. So in these back 2 rows is where you can put your mini. Starting in initiative order, you get to place your mini down. So our berserker here is initiative 5.
We go right up front. Oh, that's too far. There we go. Right up front.
And then initiative 4 for Odin here, playing our house girl. I think you're going in the back there.
Yep.
Our house girl. And then I, as the Jarl, will be right up front next to
The berserker.
the berserker. There we go.
Okay.
And one other thing, just to know, because I asked this, is they you have 1 set of tokens for right now. Your cards are both male and female, or presenting on each side, and but they typically will come out with a second set of minis that you can buy later, so you can have whatever gender you want on each of the cards.
Yes.
So if you got the Kickstarter of this and you did any of the bigger pledge levels, I think you're going to have that in there already. So as you get your Kickstarter, you'll have that. In the retail versions, they'll have them available as retail boxes, so you can buy the alternate gender presenting side, so you can play what you want. The nice thing as well is, just as a tip, pick up those other alt gender models for other sets, because they have all the rules to play those heroes.
So you just get the heroes.
So if you want a pretty inexpensive way to add 4 more heroes to your game, grab one of those alt gender packs, because it comes with all the rules needed for them.
Yeah.
Especially if you're buying the initial core sets, those ones translate pretty much directly over.
Yeah.
And you've got all 8 characters in the core sets with
It's a great
one
way to do
little
it.
box.
Great way to
Yep. Which is wonderful. All right, so we're ready to begin our adventure. We have everything set up. At the beginning of a turn, the first thing you always do is someone is carrying this torch.
Yep.
Someone has to have this torch on them, and that person is going to hold back the darkness.
So the darkness is represented on this depth track that you want to set up at the beginning as well.
So the darkness is trying to escape. This is a representation of just the evil and the badness in the world trying to get past you as the heroes. As we're going further on our adventure, it gets harder and harder to hold back this darkness. So since we're right here at this entrance, we hold back the darkness on a 7+.
So what are you rolling to do that?
So I have 2d6. What I'll do is I'll roll 2d6, and I'm going to try to roll over a 7. If I roll doubles, something special happens. So I rolled a 4 and a 1. So this fails. The darkness escapes a little bit. So now the darkness is 1 closer to escaping.
Okay.
But because there was no blood splatter or growing dread on that failure, nothing
extra
happens.
bad.
It's
So
fine.
did you need a 7 or a 9?
I needed a 7. So we, as a party, are currently at the entrance. The further we get into the dungeon, or the further we get into the mines, or in this case, the forest, the darker it is, the harder it is to hold back.
So even though we're looking at this number, the token that we move when we fail is over here.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
And you can see that noted on the entrance and darkness start over here. So this is where the darkness starts. It has a little marker there that says darkness start. And then the hero tracker, which is, we normally use yellow for the heroes, green for the darkness. The hero tracker starts on the opposite side.
Mm-hmm.
So as we move in, our hero marker will move further down. The darkness marker will move counter to us.
Yep.
And that's kind of how the depth track works.
All right.
So one other note that we want to take note of before or as we're beginning the adventure, is going to be the effects of the land that we're in. So each of the different worlds that we have different things that are going on within the world. We are in the Norse lands right here. The dark shadows are at play in the Norse lands. Whenever the darkness crosses one of these thresholds here, we take D6 horror hits, each of us.
Which is a D6, which is rolling one of these D6. So if, let's say that happened and I rolled a 4, I would get a brain, what we like to call brain punches, 4 times.
Yep.
And then, so what I would do, and this is getting into introducing how defense works in this game, I would roll 4 dice.
Looking for your 3 pluses.
And since I have a 3+ on my defense, for any 3 pluses that I rolled, I would save against those.
Yep.
So I saved against those, and so I would take 2 sanity damage.
2 sanity damage.
So boom, I would take that sanity damage, and if I ever had more than 10 sanity damage, blah, I fall over. Unconscious.
However, the other thing about being in the Norse lands is Odin's light. So whenever our party marker, the other one, crosses one of these thresholds, we have the chance, each of us individually, to recover a grit on the D6 roll of a 4+. So each of us would roll a 4+. Look at that, I didn't get it, so I wouldn't get a grit. But you,
but I
do. 4, would get a grit.
All right.
So that's one thing to keep in mind as you're playing through the adventure.
And each of the different sets has a different starting land. So for those of you that are playing Valley of the Serpent Kings, take a look at your card, see what it does, because it is going to be different than this. The fortress is different from this. And then your other world cards, as we open up a gateway, we'll figure out what that is.
Okay, so we've tried to hold back the darkness and failed. Now we get down to initiative order.
Right, so you're initiative 5. You are the first to go.
Very fast.
Highest initiative goes first.
Highest initiative goes first.
Yep.
So the first thing that you do on your turn is you roll for movement. Even if you don't want to move, you roll to move, because if you roll a 1, you gain a grit.
Okay.
So
got a 4.
So
all right. I don't have any pluses to my movement, so I'm just going to move 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I didn't quite make it to the door. But at this point, I've rolled, I've moved. Now, because we're not in combat, I get what's called an exploration action.
Yep. So if he was in this puzzle piece here for an exploration action, he could kick down the door and see what's in the next room.
Which would get me 5 XP for opening up something.
Yep.
But however, I didn't make it there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to scavenge this area for something useful.
So scavenging, think of this as your character's digging around, looking for stuff. Is there any like loot laying on the ground? Is there anything going on?
So to do that, I'm going to roll 3 D6s. I'm looking for 6 pluses. For each 6 plus, it's a success. And for each success, I get to draw a card from the scavenge deck.
So this deck is one of the big changes from the revised or the core sets to adventures. In the core set, there would be 12 of these cards. In this set, there's only 8, so it's streamlined a little bit more. And it's kind of condensed as well. So like some of the positive cards have multiple things going on with it, and the negative cards have multiple things combined into it. So at the end of the day, this is still 1/3 good, 1/3 bad, 1/3 nothing here, with I think an extra nothing here to round out the math on that. So there's 3 nothing here's, 3 good things and 2 bad things.
I think so. I think that's how it rolls.
And 1 card that's 50-50.
That's what it is, yeah.
So
okay, so we've got I've got basically, a 33% chance of something bad coming up for each success, but a higher chance that nothing happens or I get something good out of it.
And when you scavenge that, you don't. There might be things that you take and keep, but the card itself goes back.
The card itself will go back after I've resolved my whole action. So
the scavenge and the loot deck regenerate.
They regenerate, yeah. So we're going to see what happens here. I'm making my scavenge check. I got 1 6, so that's a success. So to mark my success, I'm going to put a scavenge token down to...
You can only scavenge each location a certain number of times, and so anytime there's a successful scavenge, you put that down. Now let's imagine JC had 3 6s here. He tossed hot. He would still only put down one scavenge token. because it was one scavenge action that was successful.
And which stat did you know to roll 3 of those?
So for scavenge, it's always roll 3d6.
Okay.
Unless you have some modifiers.
Unless you have some modifiers, some starting items, and some personal items might let you roll 4. It'll say roll an extra one. So pull your scavenge card.
I only got 1 success, so I pull 1. However, if I had rolled 3 successes, I would pull 3 at once.
Yeah.
And then resolve those individually. After that point, the deck gets reset. So it's after all of your successes have been resolved. All right, so I found some loose stones. So if you want to flip the dupe here real quick, I'll show the anatomy of one of these cards. So on these scavenge cards, you'll notice there's a little bubble here that says 10 XP. That means that just for looking at this card, just for getting access to this card, I get 10 XP. So I'll mark that down on my note.
So even the bad cards and even the nothing heres are worth going for because you're going to be eking out that XP.
So you'll start to level up. Now underneath this, you'll notice that there's a chart. It says to roll a D8, and based on my D8 result, I'll get one of the following things.
Either something bad or something really good.
If you don't know, this is a D8.
That is a
might
D8.
not know.
That's true. That's true.
That's a D8. It has 8 sides, thus a dice 8 or 8-sided dice. So we're back on the overhead.
Okay.
So if you're questioning, well, how many times do I know I can scavenge?
Yep.
Page 14 of the rulebook has a little breakdown for you. So for 1 or 2 heroes, you can scavenge each room 1 time. For 3 to 4 heroes, each room can be scavenged twice. And then 5 to 6 heroes, you can scavenge each room 3 times.
Yep. But we just have 3, so we get 2 scavenges per room.
Yep.
So I've marked one of those off already. And now I get to roll a D8 to see what I get from it. 7. Respite. Heal D3. Any mix. So basically nothing because I'm not hurt yet.
Yeah, we're not hurt yet. So that would have been nice.
But, yeah, so I got a result that basically gave me nothing. Now, we talked about grit earlier, giving you the chance to re-roll things. If this was, combat or something else, we'll get to plenty of times where we'll be able to use grit to re-roll. However, since, like I said before, this is a chart. On chart rolls, unfortunately, you can't use the grit to re-roll your result. Whatever it is, that's final.
Yep. So lots of things will be chart rolls. So there's going to be times where we are corrupting and mutating. So you're going to be rolling for what mutations you have. Whenever you're leveling up and upgrading, you're going to be rolling on a chart. You can't use a grit there because it is a chart. There is one caveat to that. There's one asterisk. If you roll on a chart and it would kill your character, you get 1 chance. You can grit that and get 1 chance to not have your character die. This is going to come up whenever you're taking wounds or madnesses, injuries or madnesses from taking too much damage.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you ever mutate and get the same mutation again, you explode into a mound of tentacles. But if you have grit, and if any time your character would die
on a chart roll,
you get a chance to reroll. If you have grit.
Yeah.
If you have grit.
If you're lucky enough to have grit. Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so we've gone over movement, initiative a little bit, and I took my scavenge activity.
Now,
my turn is now done. So now we get to move to the next one in the initiative order, which is Odin over here at initiative 4.
So he's going to roll a d6 for movement. He gets 3.
Can I move through a character?
You cannot move through character. You have to move around models.
Yeah, but
can I move diagonal?
But you can move diagonal.
Okay.
Yep.
So I started here. I can go 1, 2, 3.
Yep.
Exactly. Now you have an exploration activity. You can choose to scavenge if you would like, or you can choose to just do nothing if you'd rather not risk pulling one of those bad options on a scavenge.
No, I'll scavenge too.
Okay.
So I get 3 dice. Here's a question: is there anything different between the blue and
the white and the red?
White and the red dice.
It's helpful whenever you're attacking and defending. So whenever you're attacking someone, you could use red dice, and then whenever you defend, you can use the white dice. But it really is just different sets to keep in mind. Other times, like let's say we haven't gone over this, but when we get to combat, you can critically hit someone. So if you roll a 6+, because some attacks, like I'll be using these D8s to attack. Yeah. So if I roll a 6, 7, or 8, I crit.
Yep.
And because I'm doing multiple attacks, I might have 1 hit and 1 crit, so I could use a hit and a crit.
Using the different colors to keep track of things. Other than that, there's no mechanical difference. It's just however you want, whichever die you want to roll. And you can use your own dice. You don't need to roll.
Yep.
Use the ones out
There are a couple of special dice in this game, though. Each set will come with one of these orange dice that look like a normal D6, but they're called a peril die. They do not have the same correct numbers as a D6. There are 2 3s on here, there are 2 4s on here, and then a 5 and a 6. So you'll never roll a 1 or a 2 on this dice.
Yep.
Gotcha. All right, well, let's scavenge and see. I need a 6, right?
Yep.
No,
nothing.
So nothing happens.
So I don't put out a token. Thomas can scavenge in theory next turn.
Yep.
And really,
That's your
because we
turn.
haven't opened a thing, that's my turn.
All right, so I'm going to roll for movement. I got a 6, which is nice because then that means I can get all the way down there to open up that door.
Okay.
And so I will demonstrate that exploration action. So the first thing I do is I get 5 XP for kicking down a door.
Yep.
I wanted that.
You will have a map deck here. You're going to want to shuffle that up between each game. You're going to want to shuffle this, and you flip over that card, and it's going to show you which map tile to pull. So it's this guy right here on top, I think.
There are a stack of
So
of
and they're
tiles in here.
double-sided.
Yeah.
So when you go to other worlds,
Yeah, flip
Targa is
to-
on the other side.
yeah.
So as you get expansion content, one of the things that, as we talked about that mini game, is coming up with your own creative way of sorting these.
Yeah. And if you look too at the card, maybe I can put it up here.
Yeah.
Like there are some tiles that look pretty similar, so just be careful when you're looking at
Yeah.
the tile versus to make sure you've got the right one.
Yeah.
Yep.
It also tells you this is where the entrance is, so you sometimes might have to turn that and orient it so you know which way things go.
And then you'll notice that there's some numbers on that. So there's a 1 to 2, 3 to 4, 5 to 6.
Which we'll figure out once we figure out what's in this room.
We'll when we flip the exploration token, we'll go through that. So which way do I want to orient this, Odin?
Like that.
Let's see. I think I got it right like that.
Yep, like that.
Okay. So we'll put that down.
All right.
As part of adding a new map piece, we'll put one of these exploration tokens on top of it, and that will resolve at the end of the turn once everybody is gone.
So I cannot scavenge because my exploration action was opening that door.
It was.
So that triggers the end of the round.
Yep.
If there are any unflipped exploration tokens, because you can get spicy and open 2 doors at the same time.
You can.
People who play this game a lot and are real good at it tend to do that, open 2 doors at a time. It's risky. We don't even do that, and we play this game a lot.
Yeah.
Looking at you, Senior.
Yeah, sometimes you get that chaos agent that's like, why not split the party?
Why not split the party? I can solo all this stuff. Again, looking at you, Senior.
Okay.
So we have moved 1 further in. So as soon as we place that tile, we want to make sure we move our party down further into the depth track. And since it's the end of the round, let's reveal that exploration token.
All right. So we have an encounter and a single door at the very top.
We resolve this top to bottom. So the first thing first is a door. So if you remember, we had those numbers there. So we're going to roll a d6 to figure out where the door is. So the door is at 4.
Okay.
So that means it is
straight ahead.
Yep.
So
and then you have these little map tiles,
end caps.
end caps that will go on the other spaces to show that there's no way out of this room or out of this section of the forest other than straight ahead.
Okay. And now moving on to the next section of the token is an encounter. So the way encounters work is you have your deck of encounters. Just go ahead and draw the top one from that. Again, shuffle all these cards. The top encounter. Clawing Hands. This is where the narrative of the game comes in.
Yep.
And it's one of those magical things where this is a deck of random cards and it's random tiles. Sometimes the stars align and just make like this perfect narrative. And I shouldn't say sometimes, quite often.
Quite often.
You end up with these just absolutely wonderful narratives that are just like, oh my god, like these 3 random cards strung together a story. And like it was a lot of fun.
It's a beautiful example of emergent narrative.
Yeah. Clawing Hands. Bursting up from the frozen ground, gnarled hands of the dead grasp and claw at your legs. You struggle to break free from their icy grip. So let's get this over there to show off the anatomy of this. So the first thing that you'll notice is that there's a special symbol there next to strength. Let me flip this over and look to see if there's any other examples. We'll use those two as counter examples. So if you notice, sometimes it's a one person with a question mark behind their head.
Oh, yep.
A one person, or you can kind of make it out there on the camera that it's people with shadows behind them. So that means the entire party. So what this means is either one hero that you get to pick.
That's this one.
It's one random hero, which is the one person with a question mark, or everyone.
And in this case, it's everyone.
So we talked about attribute checks or skill checks earlier.
This one's going to be a strength 5+.
So this is a strength 5+. So everyone look at what your strength value is. You grab that many dice.
Yep.
So Odin gets
I get
2.
2.
I get 4 because I'm a big beefy lad. And JC,
I get 3.
And we are trying to roll over a 5+.
5.
All right.
A 5 and a 6.
Got it. And then you just resolve the card. If successful, gain 15 XP as you tear yourself free.
Heck yeah.
So we all get 15 XP in this example. If failed, take 3 hits that do 2 wounds each. So if you don't break free, those claws just scratch up your legs, you take some wounds. Then, so this one has a then, which we now process. If more than one hero failed this test, did more than one hero fail this test?
Nope.
No, so we don't even care. You would move the, if more than one hero failed, it took us so long to get free that we would actually move this one further.
But that's not the case.
That's not the case.
So
we don't even care.
Stupid claws.
So that resolves the encounter token, and you come back to the top of the turn. At the top of the turn, at the beginning of the turn, you always, always, always.
What do we do?
Hold back the darkness.
That's right.
Hold back
the darkness.
Roll it.
An 8.
We got it.
So again, we are currently only one step into this forest here on the depth track. So we are looking for a 7+. I rolled an 8. We got it.
Yeah.
So now we then go into player order. So JC, or initiative order, we should say.
Yep.
JC, your initiative 5.
Yep.
All
so
right.
I get to roll the moves.
So got a 5.
5. All right. I'm just
Blazing.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just heading to that door. Now, if this encounter token was yet to be revealed,
The exploration token.
yeah, an exploration token was yet to be revealed, like that, and I was out here on my turn, I would not be able to scavenge this area because you cannot scavenge in an area with an unrevealed exploration token. You don't know what's going on there yet. You don't have time to look around and figure out, you know, find stuff.
There are going to be monsters in there.
But because this has been revealed now, this is just like any other room at this point. So I've gone through here. Again, I get the opportunity of having an exploration activity. I didn't make it to that door, so I'm going to go ahead and scavenge again. So my 3d6, no 6s this time. So no successes, no token goes down, and I get to draw a card. So Odin, it's to you.
Okay. Right, so I rolled a move first. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yep.
And then I will also try and scavenge, because why not? What else am I going to do? I have nothing
What's the
to
worst
attack.
that could happen?
There's no monsters. I definitely don't find any.
Okay.
All right. So now it's my turn.
Yep.
Get a little bit of movement action going on there. I got another 6.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It gets you up to the door.
Oh, well, I just have to open this door. Why would I not?
Carl.
Thomas isn't. He's in charge of doors.
That's right. Oh no, we got a corner passage. So what are corner passages? These are small little rooms that does make us go a little further, but they don't give us an exploration token. They kind of slow you down a little bit. They're the worst.
They are the worst.
Now, there's something we need to talk about holding back the darkness. There's something called voices in the dark, which we want to make sure that we talk about. I am the one holding the lantern. So my character.
In this case, the torch.
The torch.
Yeah. Let me roll.
So you roll which direction it goes. So 1, 2, 3. So it goes to the left. Now here, let's take a segue on Voices of the Dark real quick. Back to, since we're laying down tiles, this is one of the areas where you can really speed up the game. at the end of the day, as long as you're being impartial, it kind of doesn't matter if this goes left or right. It is one of those things where if you are playing on a certain size of table or a certain setup and, oh, there's no room to the right, but I can go to the left, just put the tile to the left.
I mean, as you can see on our setup, like we're running out of space already.
Yeah, so
we had a pretty big table.
The other thing that you do is, as you're playing in, we don't need this tile every year. We're never coming back here, so this could just disconnect.
There we go.
And if you really want to make sure that you don't forget, you can put an end cap here, just to remember that there's no way back. But this is one of those areas where you can really house rule this. A lot of times, like we kind of just arbitrarily like look, oh, there's one door. I don't know, it's that one. It doesn't kind of matter.
Yeah, if you're really going super narrative heavy and you want to be like, and the cavern turns to the left.
Yeah, exactly.
Then cool.
Yeah.
But otherwise, this doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Coming back to Voices in the Dark.
So give me that tile really quick for this example.
So for this example,
let's say Odin was still back here, not on the joining part, but way back here, and our Jarl Thomas was up there.
So now there's more than one tile between me to Odin's character. Odin's too far away from the light source. He's in the dark. So if you look on page 14, there's a section called the Light Source and Voices in Dark. It illuminates the entire map tile that the hero is on that has the torch and every adjacent one. So mine,
his whole map tile,
and the adjacent one are lit up. If you are not on one of those two tiles, you hear Voices in the Dark. You immediately at the start of your activation, if you're in the darkness, you take D6 horror hits. So those are those brain punches against your sanity. So JC would take 2 brain punches. I'm sorry, Odin would take 2 brain punches.
So you would roll a die to see how many, and then roll 2 dice for each one of those punches.
Yep. So then roll 2 dice for defenses. Yep. And so you save both of them. So nothing. You don't care. You don't care.
Stupid voices.
Stupid voices. Shut up.
But in our actual scenario, he's there, you were there, so nobody takes Voices in the Dark.
And so this brings up a very interesting case here. My character, especially since you're opening doors, I'm standing on this puzzle piece.
Yep.
So what that means is I'm on both of those tiles.
Yep.
For positive and negative.
Yep.
So if there's something that's like every hero benefits from being on this tile, yay, I get the benefit. But the bad news is if there was an event or an encounter or something that would cause, there's toxic gas on this tile and you're choking to death, I'm still standing on that tile. Yep. So when you're on a puzzle piece, you are on both tiles.
So he's currently here and here as far as the map tiles are concerned.
Yep.
Which means that he is illuminating both this map tile and this one, as well as the ones adjacent to them.
Yep.
So we're well within the light. We don't need to worry about Voices in the Dark at all right now. But that is
the end of the round.
Yep.
So there's no expiration token, so nothing like reveals or pops up. We come back to the beginning of the round and we hold back the darkness.
Roll it.
Oh,
double sixes.
Double sixes. Look at that. This means a depth event. Depth events are what happens when you roll the same number on the hold back the darkness dice. When you roll doubles, it does not count as failing nor succeeding holding back the darkness.
Yep.
So if there's any special ability or skill that you have that says when you fail or when you succeed at holding back the darkness, get something.
Yep.
Depth events doesn't count for that. It is neither a success nor a failure. When you now will need to look to see where your depth event chart is. So on the back of one of the
I think it's in there.
Isn't it in the rulebook?
We're so well prepared.
No. It should be on the back of...
Nope, that's library knowledge.
Haha, we're professionals here.
We are so prepared. Here, depth event charts.
Aha, see, I knew it, JC. I knew it.
Okay, so we are in the Norselands.
So we're in the Norselands, so it'll break down. You'll have these extra big cards that have some rules. So look for your depth event chart. We are in the Norselands and we rolled double sixes. Stubborn resolve. This place is horrible and forgiving, but you're not about to give up without a fight. Each hero may gain D3 rage and either heal D6 wounds or sanity, any mix, or recover a grit. If you're knocked out, though, if you're unconscious, you can come back to life.
Yep.
So the first things first is the way D3s work in this game. You just roll a normal D6. A 1 and a 2 is a 1. A 3 and a 4 is a 2. 5 and a 6 is a 3. There's a little chart at the beginning of the rulebook that will help you remember that. If you struggle remembering that, you can also divide by 2 and round up. So 1 divided by 2 rounded up to 1.
Yeah.
But math is hard. I got a 5, which is a 3, so I get 3 rage.
All right.
How do we get rage?
So rage, if you look, it's one of your abilities on your card there. So
3
normally, the way that you would generate rage is by having things punch you. So whenever you take damage, for every 2 wounds you take, you get a rage. Rage can be used for a bunch of different special abilities. Can be used for extra damage. So you can use 1 rage token to do 1 extra damage. On page 8, under Viking Heroes, is the Viking Heroes specific rules. So if you have Valley of the Serpent Kings and you want to see the Conquistadors special rules, go to page 8 in the rulebook there. Let me validate that it is the same page, but I believe in the Flying Frogs. Oh, look at the Flying Frogs.
Page 8.
Shout out to the Flying Frogs. Page 8 of the rulebooks has the specific rules for the specific heroes of your set. Under there, there's a rage section. So at the end of every fight, each hero loses D3 rage tokens as the frenzy begins to dissipate. But we get to just hold this rage.
Yep.
We're just pissed off at how cold it is.
We're just bottling it in.
Yep.
We're just building up that rage, ready for our first fight. So we go juiced up into our first fight.
Okay, so the first part of that depth event was that we get to recover D3 rage.
Yep, and then we either get to gain a grit or heal, but we're all at full health.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, I'm taking a grit.
So my character can have 3 grit because I have this golden mask as my starting item, which gives me some extra max grit. But normally 2 grit is the most max grit.
So Odin and I are sitting at max grit right now, and as we go through here, we'll get a chance to see what that can be used for. So that was holding back the darkness. We now go to initiative order again.
Yep.
Which means I'm up. So I will go ahead and roll to move. I rolled a 2, so I'm going to show you one thing you can use grit for.
That's not enough movement, JC.
It's not enough.
Get it.
I'm a berserker. I want to be in the front line. So I'm going to go ahead and spend one of these grit tokens to get another die of movement. So I keep my 2, and then I roll another d6. 1. Okay. So if I had rolled this in the other order, I would have gotten a grit.
So this is a special case. So JC gets to move a whopping 3 here. How
1, 2, 3.
How it resolved. But let's say JC was at max grit like he was at the beginning of the round.
Yep, I have 2.
And he rolled to move, and he rolled a 1. He's going to get some grit, but he can't take anymore.
Because my max is 2.
Whenever you're in that situation, you can immediately use a grit for something. So if you had a special ability that was like, use grit to heal someone, or use grit to make a throwing axe,
yep,
or use grit to move further, he could use this grit that he technically doesn't get because it's over his capacity, immediately spend it.
Yep.
And get that extra movement. But in this case,
I rolled a 2 for movement. I rolled a 1, and because that 1 was on my extra die, I don't get a grit from it.
It is not a movement roll. It is an additional number of spaces.
Yep. So I moved a whopping 3. But hey, I still get a chance to scavenge.
You can scavenge these little passages here. There's nothing stopping that.
Nothing. Okay. Odin, it's to you.
Okie dokie.
All right. So roll for movement. A 5. There you go.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Uh-oh. So here's one of those tactical situations. We can move over to the other cam so you can see it really in question here. I'm the hero in the back.
Boom, boom.
I haven't activated yet. If my party does this and they both stand in that little hallway there, I can't move. It's a super jerk move.
Yeah. So in this case, I'm the ranged person, so maybe it's better for me to be at the back party. So I would probably move at least back here because now he can move diagonally.
Exactly.
And yeah, you don't have to use all of your movement.
No. And so it's one of those things. There's going to be times where, especially like if JC and I were in a doorway like that blocking, it also blocks creatures.
Yep.
Unless creatures have a special ability. A lot of them have abilities to move through models. But what we could do is we could stand in the doorway and block.
Hold the line.
Hold the line while our house Jarl, our Huskarl, is just plinking them with the bow and safe because they don't have as much health or they're not as tanky kind of situation. But in this case, you're actually very, very strong.
Yeah.
You are a strong frontliner.
But in any event, we want to be able to let our other characters move in this situation. So make sure you're
strategically think about where you're moving and such. So I get
a 1.
Get
a grit.
So I get a grit. Which, you know what? I will finally scavenge.
All right.
Let me finally look around, see what's here. Nothing. This is an empty hallway, guys. Come on, let's move forward.
Okay.
So that ends the round. So what we do, we hold back the darkness. 11.
Okay.
It is held.
Nice.
So we're good to go. So we go back into initiative order.
Hold a move. 4.
Oh yeah, get in there and open up that door.
I'm just gonna go right there.
So he could cut this corner here. So if you notice in this corner, the black ink is not covering the corner there. That means it is possible to move diagonally through that space. But if you notice on like this one here that you can't see the corner, you would not be able to move diagonally, even though there's no squares there. You would not be able to move diagonally through there. That'll come up on definitely some of the map pieces that you'll find.
All right. So flip that map deck.
So we get a map. Where is the runestone monolith? Now this is another example of one of the alternate rules here. So I want to go ahead and show this map card. If you notice on the bottom, there's an encounter
right there.
Title there, and what that means is if you want to play with the alternate rules, you can do themed encounters. So that means you would add that encounter card if you wanted to. So in the optional rules on page 40 or so, on page 40, it has a bunch of different optional rules. And the amazing thing that they do is they tell you if it makes the game less or more difficult. Which I think is absolutely awesome to do. And again, it is your game. It is a cooperative game. Since there's no competition, there's certain rules that you could ignore. So we'll flip over to talk about this for a second, because Flying Frog, I hope you're listening. They have changed rules. There's been FAQs and erratas and changes. Most of them amazing. Some of them I don't understand the context behind. And I'm sure there's very valid reasons. But you won't really see it here in this version because we're all playing Vikings and we have axes and we're big strong guys and our ranged weapons are bows that are two-handed. But in the Western setting, I want to shoot 2 pistols. Pew, 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 pew. There are dual wielding rules in here. And dual wielding only applies to ranged weapons. So if you're using 2 melee weapons, you don't care. It does not apply to you.
You can dual wield melee weapons.
But whenever you dual wield ranged weapons on page 34, there are extra rules. You can no longer get critical hits for either of your weapons. Which is how the original rule was. Which I think is perfectly, it actually kind of balances things out because being able to shoot a bunch from way in the back, maybe a little strong. But in the new version here, and also in the FAQ, whatever's in your offhand, you're not as good at shooting it. So whatever your range to hit is 1 higher with that gun. I think that's too punishing. Like, none of us, especially because none of us have ever played characters that breaks dual wielding, it's just kind of punishing. We don't use that rule. We use the original rule. We use the original you can't crit rule. I like it better that way, but hey, like,
play how you want to play.
Play how you want to play it. There's optional rules, there's FAQs, there's errata, there's old rules. Just play. It's so good. It's worth it. All right, let's get back down here. into this. All right.
So Odin, while that was going on, got our map tile, and I went ahead and got an exploration token on there.
And you get 5 XP for kicking
I
down
got
that
5
door.
XP. I wrote down my XP.
And we do need to roll just to see which one is the door.
Yep.
We'll roll that when we reveal the exploration
There might
token.
be 2 doors here. We
Oh,
don't
yeah.
know yet.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was my action. I went ahead and moved, and then my exploration action was to open the door. That means it's Odin's turn.
2.
Okay.
1, 2.
You're in range, yeah.
And you
looks
can
good.
still scavenge.
Yeah. So that's what's nice is that like I can see into here, so I can shoot stuff between rooms.
Yep.
But I can stay here and scavenge because if
Yep.
I was here, there's a token.
Exactly.
And if you're on a puzzle piece, oh my god.
Double
2
6s.
Double 6s.
Okay.
So if you're on a puzzle piece, when you scavenge, you decide which room you're scavenging, in front or behind.
Yep.
We like to just call that, like, normally you scavenge behind.
Yeah.
Because that's the room you're leaving from.
So now you get to pick 2 cards.
So I get
2
2
cards.
cards. I
Yep.
want this
Yep.
card.
And the scavenge token
I want
doesn't
this
go in
card.
that room. The scavenge token
yep,
goes
thank
in
you.
the hallway.
Sorry.
Okay. So I got that loose stones one that JC got before.
All right,
So I
so
get
roll.
10. Hang on. I'm gonna get 10 XP
Yep.
just for doing that, and then I roll a D8
Yep.
to see what happens.
And so your game comes with, there should be 1 D8 in the box.
Yep.
I highly recommend getting more D8s.
Yeah.
so I rolled a 4, which says whispers take D6 horror hits.
Oh,
Alright.
no.
That
So-
sucks.
All right. So once again,
1.
D6.
Four.
All right, 4.
So you need 4
Oh.
saves now. 4
Because it's a
sanity
D6,
saves.
not a D3.
So and then I would do
4 saves.
You're looking for a 3+ on these.
So I get 4 saves.
Yep. And you're looking for a 3+ on all these.
Because it's my sanity.
It's your sanity. Yep. It's punching your brain. Oh, I see 2 failures over there.
All
2
right.
failures, 2 wins.
So now
Alright.
let's say you didn't want those failures though.
Yeah.
You could spend a grit to re-roll any dice that was just rolled. So since you rolled all 4 of those dice together, you could, for 1 grit, re-roll that 1 and 2. This is one of the important edge cases that is kind of like very nuanced. Whenever you use a grit, you can re-roll any number of dice just rolled.
Yep.
If Odin, for whatever reason, decided to make one of those saves 1 at a time,
Yep.
and he would want to spend a grit, he could only re-roll 1 dice because that was the dice that was just rolled.
Yep.
It is a very nuanced rule, but it is actually incredibly important.
Okay,
Oh.
Sure. Let's use a grit. I've
Okay,
got
sure.
I've got
Use a grit.
I've got all kinds of grit.
So,
So I'm going to leave those 2 4s.
Yep.
Yep.
Leave those
Because I don't want to
4s.
re-roll those because
Nope.
I won. So we'll re-roll these other ones and see.
hey,
there we go.
Give
Look
that
at that.
sanity
No,
back.
wait,
No
now I
damage.
lost no sanity.
There you go.
Okay. Perfect.
Okay, so that was the first one. And then
Second
the
one.
second one is Glint of Light.
So you get 10 XP for that.
Yep, so I get 10 more XP. Let's note that down. And then I roll a D8 because this is another table one. 8. Draw an artifact.
Whoa!
Oh, nice.
These artifacts are the best items in the game. So you just draw the artifact there. You got some rune stones.
Runestones, what do those do? Discard to cancel a Darkness or Growing Dread card on a D6 roll of 3+.
Okay.
And then those go back in the...
These go back and the scavenge deck resets. The artifact deck does not reset. You get to keep that artifact. That is yours to decide when to use.
Discard to cancel it. So discard to cancel a Darkness or Growing Dread. So if we had to draw a card for any of these moving
Yep.
on the D6 roll of 3+, does that mean I have to roll to cancel it?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And because you're rolling, you would have a chance to use a grit on that roll.
Gotcha.
So keep that in mind if we get a Darkness or a Growing Dread card coming out.
And the other thing to keep in mind is, let's show that to the camera.
Yeah.
One of the things is it has an anvil in that bottom
Yeah,
corner
right
there.
there.
Those anvils denote how much you can carry. So you can't just gather every single item in this game and just keep going. What you need to do is pick what items you have. You can carry 5 plus your strength worth of items. So I could have 9 anvils. Odin could have 7, and JC could have 8.
Yep.
Mhm.
And
Oh.
and after picking up that artifact, I now have 3 anvils, so I'm fine.
Yep, you're still good. All right, so that was it for Odin's turn. Going to roll for movement. I get a 6 again. I'm a speedy guy, but I'm going to stand up next to that berserker there because we don't know what's happening in this room. I don't want to be in that room alone if a bunch of monsters spawn. So let's flip that exploration.
Would you
check.
like to scavenge?
Oh, I could scavenge behind.
Yeah, there's still one more.
There's still one more. Thank you for reminding me, JC. It's a cooperative game and it's appreciated. No, it doesn't matter.
All right, so now bottom of the turn order, we'll go ahead. All right, so there are 2 doors here. Like we said, we resolve this from top to bottom. So we don't need to roll for doors or end caps, but we are getting attacked.
So, even though you resolve this top to bottom, make sure whenever you've read the rules for your adventure, that you know what clues do, because sometimes special things happen as you're playing adventures. Like you have to roll and do things. It'll tell you usually before or after you resolve the attack or whatever's on the token. But just keep in mind that whenever clues happen, you usually want to go back and review what your mission is and understand what that means as far as what happens in the... Oh my god, I'm dying.
Don't die.
Don't die. I'll try not to. I'll drink some water here. So we're attacked.
So in this case, we refer back to the rules. What does a clue mean for us?
It means we're one step closer. There's nothing special as far as rules go.
Okay.
But we do resolve the token still.
Okay.
So we opened a door, so that does mean we're one further down. So we've got to always remember to do that. And now we get an attack. So we know we are yellows.
Okay. So we're going to be facing Peril Die of Centurion Hunters. You want to go over the anatomy of this card real quick?
Yep. So let's flip the dupe there. So at the top, it will tell you what you get, what you're fighting. So sometimes this will be a flat number. Sometimes it'll be a D6, a D12, or our 2D6. But in this case, it's a peril die. So we will fight 3, 4, 5, or 6 of these.
Yep.
And we're going to fight 3 of them. So
special notes now on the bottom of it. These guys have a hunter protocol. So the Centurions lose the darkness advance ability and gain +2 move.
So relentless advance?
Relentless advance. Yeah, sorry. I couldn't read through the camera.
So they lose the relentless assault, which makes them a little bit easier, but they gain +2 movement, you said?
Yep.
And the reason that is because you can fight stronger enemies in the green and yellow decks, but the way that they balance that is they remove abilities, remove health, change up some stats, which is real nice.
Yeah. So we got our 3 Centurion models here, and now the question is, what do we do with them? We've pulled them out. We know that we're going to be fighting with them. How do we go ahead and place these?
So they go from the furthest entrance away from the heroes. So this map tile is kind of interesting because there's none directly across from you. Usually it's real easy and you just set them up directly across. But this is a time where also, again, you can short circuit this quite often and just kind of plop them down.
Yep.
But they go in checkerboard style, so they skip spaces.
Let's put one here, and then and then go ahead.
All right. Once you've determined what type of enemies are taking part in the fight and how many there are, it's time to place them on the board. Enemies are placed on the board in reverse order of initiative from lowest to highest, so the slowest enemies are always at the back of the group. There are going to be times where you fight multiple sets of enemies. Starting with the lowest initiative, they're placed on the map tile in every other space, forming a checkerboard pattern, starting in the row furthest from the map tile entrance.
Okay.
So they would be at the back of the room here. So they would be boop, boop, and a boop. Bam, there we go. Oh, look how thematic that is. There's these like robots behind this big giant head. The artwork for the map tiles here is so great. All right. And if they made it all the way to us because we had so many enemies, you would then go back and start filling in the checkerboard.
Yep. But in this case, we've only got 3 guys. They're all placed.
What happens if, like, for whatever reason, 6 more of these guys spawn and we only have 6 models? So, if you do not have enough models, for instance, we need to summon 6 more of these for some reason, what they do is they start getting elite abilities. So they get a free elite ability. So let's go over the anatomy of an enemy card here. The first things first, up at the top, you will see their name. Then under that, you will see some tags. These tags are actually very important because quite a few different characters or events or darkness cards will affect things based on tags. So it'll be like, all robot enemies have +1 combat, or whenever we as Vikings, when we kill a beast enemy, we harvest their pelts.
Yeah.
So you want to keep track of what tags they are. You will see that there is a size up there. These guys are mediums.
Right there.
That is important for certain aspects like movement. Large and extra large creatures can move smaller creatures around. You can see what their initiative is. Then they have a laundry list of what their special abilities are. That's that big block of text in the middle, which we will, you'll want to read those over and just understand what each one is saying. Then, down where JC's fingers are, you'll see a few things. So these are movement 4+, but because of the special notes, the Hunter Protocol, these ones are movement 6 instead.
Yep.
That escape value is if you're trying to move past them, you have to do an escape test. If you're able to roll above that number, you can keep moving. Otherwise, you get stuck where you are, right next to them. There's their melee to hit, so that's how easy it is for them to hit you.
You can see that they don't have a ranged value.
So they don't have any ranged attacks. The combat is the number of combats that they roll to attack. And if they hit you and get past your defense, that is how much damage they do.
4 damage.
4 damage. So only having 12 health, like hitting me 3 times, I'm dead.
Yep.
Next to that, you notice their defense. So the first important bit is the defense value. When you roll to hit them and then you roll to damage, defense reduces the damage they take by that much. So we'd have to do 4+ damage to actually put damage onto these guys. Next, you see their health, which is how many hit points they have. Right below that, you'll see their XP, which you can point where that is. It's over here.
There.
That is for killing them, how much XP you get. Whenever we fight larger creatures, you'll see that there's another way of gaining XP as well. And then that big block of text down at the bottom is that elite chart. So that's what I was talking about. If once you reach a certain level, they get elite abilities. Or if you run out of models and can't place anymore for whatever bad luck reasons, you're just spawning a bunch of creatures and you don't have enough models, they start getting elite abilities, which just makes them stronger, gives them new abilities, all kinds of bad stuff. All right, so now let's take a look at what we got going on here. They are initiative 3. So if you're tied for initiative, they go first.
The monsters will go
Monsters go first unless you have a special ability. So the initiative order will now be JC, Odin, bad guys, myself. They do not have relentless advance, so we can just skip over that. They have power swords. So they are on a 6+ to hit. They ignore your defense and armor.
Oof.
So defense outright, whenever someone attacks you, you roll your defense. That's your defense value here. And if you succeed, you take no damage whatsoever. If you have armor, let's say one of these attacks does go through, and I'm taking 4 damage. For every single point of damage, you roll 1d6. And since I have armor 5+, I would roll 4 dice because I'm taking 4 damage. And for every 5+ I roll, I take 1 less damage.
And we'll see that here in a little bit.
Yep, we'll see that in a little bit. And then they have blast shields. So they have armor 5+ themselves.
Oh, fun.
So as we do damage to them, they will roll to see if their armor saves for however much damage they do. At the end of a hero's attack, if adjacent, so this is for people that are in melee, for each wound prevented by this armor, the hero both takes 1 wound ignoring defense and is thrown back 1 space directly away from a random adjacent centurion. So the centurions are just shield blocking you backwards.
That's going to be fun as the berserker.
Yeah, right? So the takeaway is we need our archer to be killing these guys.
Yeah.
All right. So we revealed the exploration token. We have these enemies on the board. It is now the beginning of the turn. Always hold back the darkness. It is something you always do at the beginning of every single turn. So let's hold back the darkness.
Oh,
6.
no, it's not held.
It's not held. That's a failure. Oh no, that sucks. We can't grit this. There's no gritting holding back the darkness. There are certain items, lantern oil, things like that, that will let you re-roll, but you have to have those resources. We just hit a blood splat, so that means we get a darkness card. So these darkness cards are awful, and especially right now for us. Cold and calculating. All robot and frozen enemies do +1 damage on their attacks.
Oh.
Remains in play.
So this will stay out and affect all of our encounters.
So
and
these
fights from
robots
now on.
are now doing 5 damage, but Odin has a little tool over there if he wants to.
Yeah, so I can discard and cancel a darkness or growing dread card on the d6 of roll of 3. So if I do that, if I don't succeed, is it still discarded?
You still discard it.
Still discard it. You discard it for the chance.
But that is not a chart roll. So if you fail, you can always grit it.
You do have a grit.
Fair enough. Okay, so then I just need a 3 or better.
You got it.
There we
God,
go.
don't even need to use a grit.
Bam. So that
Alright, so this-
artifact is discarded.
Yep.
So it just goes
Back in the
either
deck.
in a discard pile or on the bottom of the deck.
Yep.
But this is discarded as well. Get out of here, cold and
Yeah,
calculating.
that sucked.
Get out
All
of
right.
here. All right. So that is handling the
Now-
holding back the darkness. Now initiative order.
One other step before that. This is the start of a fight.
This is the start of a fight.
So for some characters and some special abilities, you'll have stuff that happens at the start of a fight. So for me, I have a wolf pelt here that at the start of every fight, I recover a grit. So I'm going to go ahead and get my grit. Now, it's important that this happens at the start of the fight and not just at the start of my activation.
Right.
Because if there was someone faster than me, I would get a grit at the beginning of the turn that I might be able to use defensively against some of those guys in the first.
And I
so,
get a free attack at the beginning of the fight as well.
Okay, so this is still the beginning of the fight. So I've got my at the start of every fight thing resolved, and I think that's the only one I have. So now it's Odin's turn to go ahead and resolve his start of the fight.
So if there's any questions about like, oh, what order do we do it in? If it's for the heroes, you can always just do kind of whatever you like, what's best. Or if for whatever reason you need to decide like, oh, which orders does it happen between me and the enemies? Always just refer back to initiative value. So I also have a at the start of the fight ability.
great.
So I need to do mine, but to determine who goes first, let's just do it in initiative order.
Okay, so go ahead and do yours, Odin.
So I get a free attack, and which means I have range 8 shots too. So I can shoot at anything within 8, and I
That
get
you
to
can
shoot
see.
twice.
Yeah, anything within 8 that you can see.
And I can see through characters. I just can't move through them.
Correct.
Okay, so I can go 1, 2, 3.
And so you have 2 shots on that,
6, 7, 8. So I could do either one, any of these, because they're 8 squares away.
But I don't think
you can see this guy. He's a line of sight.
Okay.
So if you go
Fair.
center to center,
Yeah.
if it crosses a wall,
Fair enough. So
Yeah.
either of these guys I could shoot.
Yeah, definitely.
But I think we'll just do the one in the middle because it's easy.
Focus fire.
Okay. So I get 2 shots. So I'm gonna roll 2, right? 2
Yep,
dice.
2 dice. A 5 and a 2.
So I get a 5 and a 2.
Your to hit value for range is down on
It
your.
also, so the card I have also says critical hit on 5 or 6. So
Yeah,
this one's
so
gonna
that's
be
a
a
crit.
critical, and this one's likely not gonna hit because I hit on range 4 plus.
Mhm.
So I needed a 4 or more. So I hit once, but it was critical. So
Yep.
what happens on a critical hit?
So on a critical hit, you're going to go ahead and roll damage like normal. However, you'll notice that we have this defense value that we normally apply to the damage that's coming in.
Mhm.
Because it's a critical hit, that defense doesn't apply. It gets
Okay.
bypassed.
gone.
So if I got 1 hit, how do I roll for damage?
So you're going to roll a d6 just like you were rolling to hit. So
Okay,
now that you've
that's-
made a hit, just roll that d6 for damage.
No!
1 damage. Now remember,
But,
you have a grit.
yeah, I'm
Any
definitely
damage,
want to
just roll.
using a grit on that
Yeah.
because we already get to bypass the damage.
But we
Yeah.
do not get to bypass the armor,
Or-
but it's still
But
worth
we'll
it. It is
resolve
still
that
worth
after
it.
this.
The
So,
defense, yeah.
so go ahead and spend that
So I'm
grit.
gonna roll that again.
Much better.
3.
Hey, can't do worse than a 1.
Right.
So
So now he gets 3 armor saves because.
I will go ahead and roll this for him.
Uh-oh.
All right.
So on 5 pluses, he takes less damage.
Okay. So this
Letting
is
JC roll your armor saves is a risky business.
Whatever.
All right, here we go.
So 2 damage goes through.
All right, so this 5 means that he blocks 1 of that damage. but the 4 and the 3 means the other ones are not blocked. So 2 damage goes through, and the way we track this typically is we'll just put 2 wound markers out next to that guy to denote that he has 2 damage on him.
And that's not even my turn. That was the free attack that I get once per fight.
Right.
Once per fight, yep.
And so because Blast Shield is only for adjacent heroes, Blast Shields don't apply here.
Yep.
But I now get my ability at the start of each turn during a fight. So this is at the start of each turn during a fight.
Yep.
You and every adjacent hero may gain 1 rage token.
Ah.
Okay.
So now here's actually an interesting situation. If you wanted to do more damage on that attack, you could spend rage.
I actually probably should have done that because I've got a lot of rage in my max is 4.
Yeah.
Well, I think maybe to avoid confusion, let's save that for later.
Yeah.
Okay.
So just keep in mind that you can always spend rage.
Yeah.
To do damage.
But now we've got some extra rage, so we can hopefully do some extra damage here. Okay, so is that everybody's start of the fight abilities?
Yep.
Okay, so then it comes down to initiative order. So I am initiative 5, which means I'm going to go first. Now I have at the start of my activation something that happens as well. So at the start of my activation, each turn I gain 1 rage token for each enemy adjacent to me. There aren't any adjacent to me. But at the start of each turn in a fight, I would heal, but I'm not damaged. So I don't think I have anything that happens right now. But I do get to roll to move just like normal.
All
So
right.
I'm going to go ahead and roll. And I get a 5. Okay, so I'm getting up in here. 1, 2, 3, 4.
You probably only might want to be adjacent to one of them
because of those blast shields. I'm going to just stay adjacent to 1. Now I have these berserker axes that let me get extra combat. Because these guys are not immune to crits, I think I'm going to go for the extra combat.
Yeah.
So once per turn, I can spend 2 rage to get an extra +1 combat.
So you're at 4 combat to begin with as the berserker because
Yep.
you have 2 base combat, which is printed on your sheet.
Yep.
And then each of your berserker axes is +1 combat.
Yep.
And then you can once per turn spend 2 rage to get another.
Per berserker axe.
Per berserker axe. So you spent
2 rage.
2 rage.
So I get 1 more combat. So I'm up to 5 combat now.
And now there is a combat limit. This is one of those, again, those new rules that, you know, some people decide to ignore or not. Go ahead and roll, JC.
All right, we're going to roll that 5 combat and see what happens. All right, so I didn't quite get what I was looking for, but I do have 2 hits because I'm a 5+.
He only has on a 5+, but he also has grit.
I am going to go ahead and spend that grit.
So a
Reroll
hero may
these
not
3.
roll more than 8 combat or 8 shots from a single attack.
Yep.
This is a relatively new rule. Feel free to, you know, use it or not. So we will be using it. I do feel like this is one of the rules that kind of like there was
Balances things a little
ability.
better.
It was real easy to run away with like I'm attacking 20 times.
We definitely saw that happen.
Mariah, who is being a peanut gallery over here with us, hates this rule because she makes a lot of characters that attacks a bunch.
Okay, so I re-rolled. I got a 1 and a 3, which are both misses, but I got a 6, which is going to be a crit. And so I have a crit and 2 hits. So this is where the color of dice comes in handy. Because like we said before, there's a rule about using grit for dice that were just thrown. I want to throw all these dice at once, so I'm going to use 1 red die to denote the crit and 2 white dice to denote the hits.
So this is a perfect example. Let's take a moment to use this as a learning event.
Yeah.
So let's say you were like that adjacent to 2 creatures.
Mm-hmm.
You do not choose who you're attacking when you roll to hit.
That's correct.
You just roll to hit.
See how many hits you get.
Now JC has 1 crit and 2 hits, and he's adjacent to 2 creatures.
So I could assign these differently if I want.
He could assign these differently, and this is where that rule with the grit of re-rolling only what you've rolled as a group is important, because JC could roll the crit by itself just to see if he kills that guy.
Yep.
And then he could roll the 2 hits against the other one, or he could try to roll all of them. You assign hits to enemies. So if he assigns all 3 of those to one enemy, let's say that
all
crit,
on that guy.
That crit kills him, those other 2 hits are wasted.
Yep.
They're gone. They're whiffed.
But I could assign it with the crit on that guy and these 2 over here.
Right.
And roll it that way. But you have to decide before you roll the damage.
Yeah.
So and the way that we did it, I'm over here.
So in this case, it doesn't matter. He's putting
matter.
all
They're
three of them
all
on
the
that
only
guy.
guy I can reach.
All right.
So hopefully we can do some big damage here. Hey, that's looking pretty good.
That's pretty good.
So that's going to be 2 damage through. That's going to be 1 damage through. Or no, this is going to be 3 damage through. This is going to be 2 damage through. And this is going to be 5 damage through.
So he's doing
to his
10
armor.
damage to this Centurion, but the Centurion gets 10 armor saves.
10 armor saves?
10 armor saves because it's 1
For
per damage.
each point of damage.
So, and this is the time that JC is going to get yeeted across the map.
2, 4, 6, 8, 10.
All right,
All
go
right.
ahead and roll it, Odin.
So for every 5 plus, JC is going to take 1 damage. Oh God. So pull out all the 5 pluses.
2.
So
Okay.
JC is going to take 3 damage.
All right.
Ignoring defense. But do you have armor?
I do not have armor.
You do not have
I'm
armor.
a
so
berserker.
he's a berserker. So he takes 3 damage and then gets yeeted back 3 spaces.
1, 2, 3.
Bam. So there we go.
All right.
But that
However,
Centurion's dead.
I took 3 damage. Anytime I take 2, whenever I take damage for every 2 wounds taken, I get 1 rage token. So I'm going to go ahead and take a rage token for that damage that I took. Because I killed an enemy, once per turn, when you kill an enemy, heal 2 wounds. So I'm going to go ahead and heal 2 of that
He
damage.
kind of doesn't even care that he just yeeted him across
Yeah.
the map. So the resolution there is the Centurion's abilities would resolve, the blast shield would damage him, and then the damage would go through and he would die, so JC would get the hill.
Yep. And then I'm going to go ahead and get the 25 XP.
And because he killed that guy, he
I
gets
earned-
25 X Pizzle.
for killing that guy.
All right, now it's Odin's turn.
My turn. Okay, so first we roll for movement. Right?
Yep, you always roll for movement,
4.
so you can decide.
And I'm just going to move up 1.
Perfect. I think
now I
you got
can
line of
see
sight on
everybody.
everybody now.
Yeah, now I can see everybody.
Yep.
Wait, this is still blocked, but I still
I think you can see him, yeah.
Yeah. So let's take a look at your bow here, because
Yeah,
free
that's what I
attack.
used for my free attack before.
Yep, and then you can still use this as just your attack, I
Yeah.
believe.
Yeah.
So at the beginning of your activation, you decide what. At the beginning of the turn, you decide what equipment you have.
Yeah, I'm
So-
going to stay ranged.
So even
Yeah.
though you
So-
have 2 hands on the cards, there's little hand symbols. You decide what's in your hands.
Yeah, so basically each turn I get to decide, do I want my bow or do I want my short sword and shield? And
Yep.
so since I'm a little bit more rangy and everybody else is more melee, I'm going to stick with the bow.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. So you get 2 shots again.
2 shots.
That's 1 hit.
Yep.
1 crit.
No.
Because
Oh.
it crits on 5 and 6s,
Oh
right?
yeah, because that wasn't just my free attack thing. That was
That crits on a 5 or a 6.
I just normally get crits.
Nice.
Okay.
So that's the upside of the bow is that like
Yeah.
you only
Yeah.
get 2 shots, but you hit a 5 or a 6, and you're gonna ignore, especially with these guys, all the armor stuff.
Yep.
Oh, the
defense.
Defense.
Defense
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yes.
All right. So now you get to roll damage.
So go ahead and
So
roll
this is
another-
a great chance to use your rage.
And this, so like we said before, you got to assign who this damage is going to.
Yeah, I think we'll do this guy.
Okay.
So you do have to assign this to the combat hits. So you're assigning it
Combat?
to the hits.
Yes. Right?
Combat hit?
Oh. Yeah, I guess you can't use that on your rage. Oh.
Right.
Rage doesn't let you use it on.
Take damage
bow.
every 2.
Here we are learning rules as we take a look at this. So
Yeah.
it only applies to your combat, which combat is only melee.
Yeah.
So you cannot use rage. So good thing we didn't use it earlier.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay, so that's good to know because
Which makes sense because you
It
can't
makes
really
sense,
shoot
kind
a
of.
bow more angry, right? Like
I mean, I could pull back harder.
I guess. Yeah, I guess especially
So,
if it's like a
But I think it's important to know that like those words have specific meanings. in Brimstone.
combat, especially whenever you see capitalized words,
Mhm.
that usually denotes a specific term. So combat hits is a specific term. That is a range attack. It is not a combat hit, so you cannot use rage here.
Which is why since I'm the archer character, my max rage is only 4, where your guys's are like 8
Mine's
and
8, yeah.
5. So you guys can hold more because you can actually use it more.
Yep.
Okay, so I hit that guy with a 5. So what do I do next?
Now you roll for damage. So you use the D6 for damage on that weapon, and then you roll to see how much.
I just roll once because it was 1 hit.
It was
Yep.
1 crit. So So that's one damage.
Okay.
And I don't have any grit anymore, so
I do have a tonic, but I don't think it'd be worth a good use of that tonic.
All right, so I'm gonna roll that armor save. Oh, that damage goes through, so he takes 1 damage.
Okay.
It's 25% of his health, so
not bad.
We'll take it.
All right, so now the Centurions go. They cannot move through other models, but they do have a movement of 6.
Okay.
They can get to all of us because of diagonals. So first things first is we figure out which hero they will not target, because there's 2 of them and 3 of us, so one of us is not getting targeted.
Not it.
So roll a d6 to determine. So this is one of those ones where you can set up your own house rules, but I'll be 1 and 2, JC will be 3 and 4, Odin will be 5 and 6.
So who doesn't get it?
So who doesn't get it? 5 and 6. So Odin does not get one. So
that dice was not loaded.
they move as far as they can to try to get like behind you or as far as possible. So they would move as far as possible to move in. So JC has 1 on him and I have 1 on myself. All right, they now attack us based upon their rules here. So they have only 1 combat. Thankfully, because they do not have Relentless Advance anymore because of their card there. So I will attack JC once, and Odin will attack me once. So
why do we do it that way?
Because you don't want to roll for your own monsters attacking you.
Right.
You're attacking the person to your right. And again, this is an area where I'm never allowed to attack Mariah, my wife.
Yeah.
So like, even if we're sitting in that order, we have house rules here. Like it's just for civility's sake.
But really, so long as it's somebody other than you.
Right.
Yeah.
So
and one thing to remember is that grit obviously doesn't apply to these rolls.
Right.
So grit only applies to player rolls. These are monster rolls. So you can't get cheeky about like, well, I'm rolling damage against Odin and I don't want to hit him, so I'm going to grit. Like, obviously, if that wasn't clear, just to clarify.
Yep, no, that's a good clarification. Grit is only used for your rolls.
Yep.
All right, so I'm attacking JC. I rolled a 5, which is not a 6, which is okay.
And I'm attacking Thomas, and I rolled a 3.
So those are both hits.
Okay.
So
a 3 hits you?
Yep, they hit on a 3+.
Oh wow.
Because you look at their number here, they hit on a 3+. An easy way to handle this, especially if you have creatures that are attacking a bunch, and you're playing with the communal dice like this, you can just pass the dice to the person you're attacking for the number of hits. So I got hit once, JC got hit once, so you just pass it. So the first things first, you roll your defense. So I have a defense of 4+, JC has a defense of 5+.
Yep.
So if I roll a 4+ here, which I do, it's blocked.
I rolled a 4, however, so I take that damage.
So JC will take 4 damage from them.
Okay.
Now, again, let's say it was me that took that damage. I have armor 5+ because of my sweet Mel armor here. I would roll 4 armor saves, and in this case, I would have only taken 1 damage instead of 4.
Yeah.
But I successfully defended, so that doesn't matter. That was just an example.
Okay, so I take 4 damage. That's another 2 rage.
So that's another 2 rage for JC. He kind of likes getting hit.
Yeah.
The Berserker enjoys it. All right, so now it is my turn. I get to finally go. So first things first, roll for movement. 4, that's nothing. I am going to, let's see here. Does the, at the end of the hero's turn, if adjacent, if at the end of the attack, if adjacent, okay. So we're going to do this. You always roll to move first, but then you can do your attack. I'm going to do my free attack after my actual attack.
Okay.
Because if he knocks me back, I can still throw an axe at him.
Nice.
So for me, I use D8 to hit because I have this big, giant, two-handed...
You rolled to move already?
I did. I rolled a 4.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't see
So now I have 2 combat. I have this war axe, which is D8s to hit. So I am going to see if I hit him. I get 2 hits here. No crits though, but that's okay. I'm only adjacent to the one guy, so that is who both of my hits are going on to. Oh, 6 damage. So that is
6
3
damage
and 3. That's 6 damage. Let's see, 6 damage. He would get some saves. You know what? I kind of want to juice this up a little bit. I'll spend 1 rage.
Okay.
So that's plus 1 damage. So he's taking 7 damage off of this hit.
Okay.
So, Odin, you want to give me some armor saves here? So
How many do I roll?
7.
7.
7 dice.
Because it's the amount of damage that you theoretically could take.
Yep.
Or deal in this case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, buddy.
I'm not trying.
Womp womp. So he takes 3 damage, just barely enough to block not happen.
All right, but he
But
also blocks 4.
so this ignores defense, but not armor. So I take 4 damage, but I get 4 armor saves. And I block 2 of those, so I take 2 damage.
Okay, so do you move the 4 still, or do you?
I still move 4.
Okay.
I take 2 damage. So
Okay.
I need 2 wounds. And he's still up, so I'm going to do my throwing axe at him. So I'm going to use a throwing axe.
Okay.
Which a throwing axe is a free attack at range strength plus 3. So that is 7 spaces away. It is a single D6 to hit. It uses your melee to hit. So this is one of those areas which is a little. Make sure you're looking at that. It is a 4+ to hit for me, and that's a crit.
All right.
And it does plus 2 damage. So he takes a whopping 3 damage. So 3 saves. Come on, Odin. There we go. Bam, he's dead, so I get my 25 XP.
All right.
Blah.
Leave some for me.
All right, I heal. I should have. Oh, I get 1 rage for taking those 2 damage.
Okay, there's your 1 rage back.
So this is one of those areas that's real nice about Brimstone Adventures. Since you all have the same team abilities, you get to help and remind people about this. So I get the 1 rage because I did take 2 damage. But I killed a guy, so that means I healed 2 wounds.
Saw that.
So I saw that. I need to lay low for a little while. I was even with the trident.
All right.
So with that, it is now the end of the round, and we need to hold back the darkness.
To start the new round.
Odin getting all peculiar about the dice over here. So that's a 9. It is held.
Yay.
Okay.
So now we have at the start of each turn during a fight.
Yep. So at the start of each turn, I heal 1 wound. However, at the start of each turn during a fight, I heal 2 wounds.
So 3 wounds healed, or is it just
2 wounds during a fight, or 2 wounds during a fight.
okay?
And then at the start of my activation, something else will happen.
Yeah,
Okay.
I only have a once per fight ability. So
Okay.
I've already used that.
All right. So mine is at the start of each turn during a fight, you and every adjacent hero, which is sadly just me, gains 1 rage.
Does that put you max?
That puts me at max rage, which my special ability as
You're
the
as
war
mad
party
as you've ever been.
is once per fight I can use 5 rage to gain plus 2 combat,
Oh, wow.
which is pretty good. Not
Okay.
bad.
All right, so we're
Initiative
now
order.
under initiative order. So that's me. So at the start of my activation each turn, I gain 1 rage token for each enemy adjacent to me. So I'm going to go ahead and get 1 more rage.
Mm-hmm.
And now I get to roll to move. I get a 3, so that doesn't really matter in this case. So now I'm going to spend 1, 2, 3, 4 rage to get myself to 6 combat.
Ooh, that's
right.
almost the limit already.
I know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Let's see what we can do. Oh, whole lot of nothing. Good thing I got grit.
Good.
You missed everything,
I missed all of them.
buddy. Woo.
Let's try it again. Let's try it again.
There you
There we go. All right, a crit and 2 hits.
So one thing I did want to point out as well, I have this hunter's bag. Once per turn, I may reroll one of my miss to hit rolls. Well, I would love to reroll one of these, but the problem here is I just used a grit to reroll all these dice. Once a die has been rerolled, it cannot be rerolled again.
Exactly.
So as much as I would love to use this hunter's bag on one of those, I can't.
So, For those of you with Valley of the Serpent Kings, make sure you read Ambition, because Ambition lets you break that rule.
It does let you break that rule in that adventure, but this is
only with the Conquistador heroes. If you have Ambition, it is an asterisk next to that rule. Normally, you cannot re-roll any dice that you've ever re-rolled. Being ambitious lets you, break a little rule here.
All right.
Rules don't apply to me.
Right.
So I got 2 hits and a crit again. And again, there's only one guy next to me, so we're assigning all these hits to the one dude.
So the 2 whites are the crits in this case?
No, it was 2 hits and a crit.
Oh, 2 hits and a crit. Okay.
Yeah, so 2 regular hits and 1 crit. The red die is the crit. Here we go. What do we got? Okay, so that's going to be 5 damage going through.
8 damage.
And then 3 more, so 8 damage going at him.
You want to spend any rage, or you spent your rage?
I spent all my rage. So someone go ahead and give me 8 armor saves.
All right, Odin's doing it. All right. Roll low, roll low. Okay.
Pretty good.
Okay.
Not bad.
So you take 1 damage and go 1 space backwards.
Okay.
And you murderize him.
All
So
right.
he did. DED did.
What?
DED did.
So-
which means I get to heal 2 wounds.
I got to shoot some guys a
You
couple
heal.
times.
You get 25 XP for killing him. You heal some because of being a berserker.
And I get bounced by him, so I go to there.
Yep. And now the combat's over. So what do we do?
Well,
People didn't activate.
yeah.
So how do we handle this? So the way we handle this, combat is over, and we go into what's called catch our breath. So for everyone who has activated, so
Which
that's
is me.
JC, you heal 1d3.
So I'm gonna
Whatever
go
you
ahead
want.
and roll
That's health or sanity.
any mix.
So he is going to heal 3 in this case, but he only down 2. Odin and I, though, have a choice. We never activated. So we get one of 2 choices. You can either heal an entire D6 or get a grit.
Well, I haven't taken any hits, so I'll take a grit.
So
There you go.
I'm in a little bit of a pickle here. I'm at max grit and I'm fully healed, so I guess
Nothing happens.
do nothing.
Can I have your grit?
But
no.
I'll take that as a no.
with Vikings, there's another thing that happens. Our rage dissipates a little bit, so we all lose a D3 of rage. So you roll to see how much you lose. Dang it, I lose.
Do we
3
each roll
rage.
separately?
You roll
Yes.
separately. So it's your. How mad are you? You lose 2 rage.
So I'm less mad.
Less mad.
Okay.
But all that killing, there's going to be some loot on their bodies.
Yeah.
These loot cards are good. They're always good. So let's see how good. For every card that summons enemies, you get a loot card for it. The reason that it's worded that way specifically is some of these cards here are draw 2 other cards. So that would mean that you would draw, in that case, 2 loot cards, because there'd be 2 cards that summon enemies. But in this case, we only get 1.
Does the
So
party only get 1, or is
each person gets that many loot cards. So that means if you have a bunch of enemies, you'll draw this entire deck, because you notice we're drawing and not putting them back until everyone draws their card. So if we all got 2 from this loot deck, Odin would take another one, he would take another one, I would take another one.
All right. Well, I only got 1 Darkstone shard, but I get 30 XP for that.
And I got a good find, so I've got a table.
I got a good find. So I got a table to roll on here. 6. I get a gear card.
Oh, nice.
So
4. I also get a gear card.
Nice.
I get a mead jug. And you get some pants.
Wait,
That's
I've
pretty
been
good.
walking around without pants?
So I got a mead jug. This is an item that lets me discard it to heal a d6 wounds or sanity, any mix. And if a 1, 2, or 3 is rolled, also gain that many rage tokens. So that's kind of nice. It's a
So
little hill.
I've got plenty of weight, but what if I drew a loot and I was overweight?
You can hand it to someone. You could always pass it on to someone, or you could just drop it. Or you could choose what you drop.
Yep.
Okay.
So, his pants are just a buff. They give him +1 move and +1 initiative.
So you're now up to the same initiative that I'm at.
So what happens if we're the same initiative?
we get to decide which order we activate in.
So every
every
time,
turn?
every time
turn.
it comes to initiative,
So if it's like, hey, it's better that we move up you'll go first. Oh, hey, it's better that we shoot this guy. Maybe you can kill him before he gets to us.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
Exactly.
So your character, I believe you took a special ability that when you kill things, you heal sanity on all of us, right?
Yes.
It could be in one of those situations where, oh, we're all real beat up on sanity, but there's an enemy with low health. It might make sense for you to activate first, to kill it, to give our sanity. Like, let's say JC only has 1 sanity left.
Yeah.
And on activation, he takes 3 sanity hits. We want you to go first to heal him. So this is where that like tactical strategy comes in of like, oh, you know, it's really important that like you go first or I go first or certain things happen in a certain order. And this is one of the beauties of this game.
Yeah.
All right, so that ends the turn. The round is over, and so we go back to the beginning of a turn. So what we do is we hold back the darkness. So we will talk about it. That's a 7. It's held. There's a special event, rolling double ones. Let's talk about rolling double ones for a second. It causes an ambush, which immediately happens, and it ends the turn. It's an interesting kind of weird edge case. You do not then immediately hold back the darkness again.
Yep.
So it is one of those caveats that you read about ambushes and rolling double ones in the rule book. It does not immediately end the turn, but you place creatures, and then that kind of like reestablishes initiative order.
Yep.
And then you go with the turn.
But we rolled a 7.
But we rolled a 7, so we're good.
Darkness is held, and you know what? Let's get into team abilities. So I'm going to go ahead and play my team ability. It's a play at any time. What this does is until the next time the darkness marker moves onto a blood splatter or growing dread space of a depth track, anytime a Viking hero draws a nothing here scavenge card, they may also draw a loot card.
Nice.
So I'm going to put this out here as a reminder that this stays in play until this crosses that blood splatter. And maybe while we're scavenging, we'll find some nothing heres and get some loot from it.
Yeah, nice. Cool. So, the thing about team abilities is they are communal. So you can, if you want, you can line them up nicely so everyone can see them to remember what everyone has so you can keep track of it. However, the person who drew that card, so that is JC's card, he gets to the ultimate decision on if you use it or not. You can talk about it as a group and be like, oh, we should use this card now. Yeah. But let's say you're a split party. Half of us want it, half of us don't. The person who pulled the card, who owns that card, gets the final say. Yep. So, JC is deciding to use this. So that's pretty great. So, initiative order, JC, it's your go.
Or Odin.
Or Odin. We are at the point where we're 5/5s.
You want to just keep the way things we've had?
Yeah, let's just go. Let's just go in a circle, just because
makes more sense.
There's no reason not to right now.
Okay, let's do it. 4. Okay, I think I'm gonna go this way. 2, 3. We're just gonna open that door.
All right, let's see what we got. We got ourselves a troll cave.
Ooh, a troll cave.
Troll cave.
JC's mom's house. Wow. Got him.
Well, of course it's the last card. Why would it be?
Last one you looked for, right? If you found it, why would you keep looking? It's always the last place you looked for it. All right. So, an exploration token comes out.
All right.
Blue, 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 blue. All right. So now it's Odin's turn.
All right. I move 4.
5 because of your
leggings.
Oh, so I can make it to this other room.
Oh my god.
Are we gonna do it?
If you want it. It's not a good idea. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because I want to stay in this room.
Okay.
Because I want to scavenge here. Because there's a token over there, and I can't.
Yep.
All right. So while he's resolving scavenge, this is one of those ways that you can speed up the game. I can start my turn.
Roll 3.
So I get 6 movement.
It's only on 6s, right?
Yep.
So I don't find crap.
See, and I will scavenge here, and I get nothing. So as you play and really learn the rules, whenever you're first starting out, you might feel like the game's, this is kind of going slow. But as you play and really know the rules, especially if you play the game with people who also really know the rules,
it gets faster.
It gets faster and faster and faster. It's incredible.
We played an entire adventure in an hour once.
For Tabletop After Dark, which check them out. TabletopAfterDark.com. Go look, see what the schedule is, what's coming up on their streams.
All right. So we have one door here, and a depth event, and an encounter.
Well, that's weird. Depth events are something that are not normally part of the exploration token. So if you
So this is the door.
Yep.
so if you're familiar with the old Brimstone, that is a new marker on the token.
We'll go ahead and pull this up.
Okay. So let's take a look to see how we resolve that.
This will be our reminder that we came from that way.
Yep.
So depth event, there is a very nice index here. So we are looking for depth event.
Yep. Depth event and then an encounter.
What's that?
I'm looking.
I believe we roll a d6.
I think it's a single d6,
Yeah.
and then you just do that. Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So roll a d6 to figure out what depth event we get.
Okay.
A
6.
Oh, wonderful. Nice. So we all heal or get a grit, right? You have the chart.
I thought I gave it
think
to you.
You might have gave it to me. All right. Here, why don't you figure that out while I
Look
read
this
more.
up.
Yep.
All right. This place is horrible and unforgiving, but you're not about to give up without a fight. 𝐃𝐥𝐲𝐬𝐬 may gain D3 rage tokens. You get 1. Go ahead and roll your D3 for rage
is
tokens.
it an and?
Yeah.
I get 2.
Okay. There's
All
2
right.
rage tokens.
So
for you.
page 15 has the breakdown of all of the effects of the exploration token. You roll
And
a
then
d6
you
and then you
wanna go-
correspond it to that number. So I was reading the rules. What do I get, JC?
D3 rage tokens.
D3 rage. Give me 3 rage. I'm at max rage.
And then D6 wounds or sanity, any mix, or recover a grit.
None of the above.
All right. You got some rage back.
I got some rage back. That's nice. I'll take it. So yeah,
Okay.
page 15 of the
And
rule
more
books,
importantly, nothing bad happened.
nothing bad happened. That's more important.
Yay! Nothing bad.
You might be seeing this and being like, oh, depth events, they're great. You heal and stuff. No, you only heal on 6s.
6s are the only good depth.
Everything else is really bad. You get ambushed. This thing moves like 2 or 3 times. You get darkness cards. You get growing
You
dreads.
take damage. You take sanity damage. You
Yeah.
take,
So,
bad things happen on every depth event except for a 6. We've just gotten lucky.
all right.
All right. So now we get an encounter.
So we get an encounter now. So let's go to the next encounter card. Frost-covered bones. The frozen bones of a large creature lay here, half buried in the thick ice and softly falling snow. Whatever this beast was, judging by the remains, it would be terrifying to behold.
There's literally remains on
I
this.
promise y'all, we did not. This is not like set up to be this way. It kind of just works. It's perfect. One random hero. So why don't you roll your d6 to see who the
Okay,
random
so
hero
1,
is?
2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Sure.
5, 6. Huskarl.
Give me a lore check.
So I have 4 lore.
You have 4 lore, so you grab 4
I
dice.
have 3 plus my
Yeah, perfect.
So you have 4 dice, and you're looking for a 5+ here.
Oh, you got it.
All right. If successful, gain 20 XP as you examine the bones more closely for signs of
Which is
what
great.
may have killed it.
which is great since you guys killed all the guys.
If at least one 6+ was rolled,
Nope.
you may also recover a grit.
So now we're spinning.
okay,
again for
good.
And then, if failed, take D6 horror hits as you are mesmerized and horrified by the vicious jaws and razor-sharp claws of the beast.
Yeah, that would have been bad.
Yeah.
If at least one 1 was rolled, move the darkness 1 step forward. That's
Nope.
only if you fail.
Okay.
So that's only in
I
the
was gonna
fail.
say because he did roll a 1. Okay.
But that was only in the fail condition. So
Okay.
Done. That's
No, I didn't roll one.
Oh, I thought you did.
all right.
I had a
So
5 and a bunch of 2s.
That's what it was.
all right. Back to
Holding back the darkness.
Holding back the darkness. So
Do
holding
it.
back the darkness.
Yeah.
Help.
We've also gotten pretty lucky on holding back the
Yeah,
darkness.
we have.
All right.
Okay.
Did we move down the depth track?
We did not for that room. You're
So
right.
that
Thank
room
you for the reminder. See, things like this happen, and that's why it's helpful to have
So
everybody.
one also really important aspect of this game is, especially if you're playing with a group over and over again, assign jobs to people. Make it where, like, whenever we play, I handle the cards. Mariah, in this time played by Odin, handles the maps, and JC normally handles the tokens.
I can't sing as well as Mariah.
That's,
So I'm not playing for
none of
many
us
people
can.
can.
Yeah.
Not very, very, very few people in the world can.
The other thing is, so Odin pointed out that this should have moved. If you ever get to a point and you're like, oh crap, where are we supposed to be at? Just remember, you can always count your map cards.
Yep.
As a quick reminder.
We have 4 map cards. 1, 2, 3, 4.
There you go.
That's
where we're supposed to be at. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and roll for movement. 5.
Why don't you go this way?
Let's just keep moving. And that way I can scavenge.
Oh, okay.
Looking for them nothing here's. Nope, didn't get it.
All right, Odin. I'm used to playing characters with high initiative, so I'm like, I want to go. So you get 3 movement because of your pants. You got those joggers on, man. You're just
those Lululemons.
That's right.
So I get roll 3, 1, 6.
Hey, you got a 6. Okay.
So I get scavenge.
And scavenge if you want to. If you don't scavenge, you know friends of mine.
What happens if I got a nothing here?
You get a loot card.
Because of this, you get a loot card.
Okay, and I still get the XP from this.
Still get the XP from that, but you'll also get XP from this loot card.
There you go.
Need something good.
Card of the cards.
Darkstone Shard.
Okay.
So I think that's 30 XP, right?
Yep.
Nice.
All right, and you get a Darkstone Shard.
Uh-oh.
Darkstone. Darkstone is a second resource in this game. So, especially in Brimstone Adventures, you're going to actually have multiple resources. So gold and Darkstone are your kind of default ones that are true across all Brimstone games. Darkstone can be used for things like attaching special items to your weapons. So if you notice, your weapons and armor have these upgrade slots at the bottom. So you'll be able to attach Darkstone handles and Darkstone grips to get extra attacks or get rerolls. Darkstone, however, is radioactive. You're going to mutate by carrying it and holding it. So over time, having more Darkstone, you'll take more and more corruption. Once you reach your corruption threshold, you mutate.
What's my corruption threshold?
So everyone's default corruption threshold starts at 5. Unless you're playing the Conquistadors. Those of you that are playing the Valley of the Serpent Kings, I believe Conquistadors start at 4.
I believe so, but it's been a little while. Take
a look. You should have a corruption value, and it should tell you what it is in your abilities on those characters.
That's Darkstone.
So some of the other resources that you'll get playing this game is pelts for the Vikings, which the pelts we will dive into whenever we do our camp video. Which we will do as a second video following this up as we talk about specifically about just camp actions. Which you go back to your camp at the end of the adventure, you level up your camp, etc. You use those pelts to do upgrading and things there. The Conquistadors also have some resources that they will gather in their adventures. There's also like salted meats which you can take from camp. The camp stuff is really awesome. Look out for that video, which will probably be coming out in the next couple of days as well. Awesome.
Okay.
All right. So look at this. It's a cooperative game. Where were we? I can't remember what we were doing. It's my turn. Thank you. All right. So movements. 1, I get a grit. I'll immediately use it for movement. So I go 5 spaces. I'm just
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I will scavenge because I want some of these nothing here's.
Hey, there you go.
I will take one.
All right, so this room is fully scavenged.
Haha, no more scavenge for you. Shuffle these up so you can't be like, oh, you knew where the cards were and we got something in the dark. Oh, I hate scavenging because this always happens. Searching in the dark, you see something that cannot be unseen. Stumbling back into the light, you try to put it out of your mind. Take D6 horror hits. If a 6 is rolled, also draw a Growing Dread card.
Oh, buddy.
Hey, Growing Dread. So the way Growing Dreads work...
Wait a minute. That's not a chart roll.
It's not a chart roll. Excellent point, JC. That's not a chart roll.
So if we did take a Growing Dread, the way that Growing Dread works...
Let's just roll with it.
Okay.
We're going to do a 6 because we want to see how Growing Dreads work. Keep in mind, you need to read in your adventure, or whatever encounter adventure that you're on, there's going to either be Growing Dread or just normal Growing Dread rules. There'll be Immediate Dread or just normal Growing Dread rules. In scenarios where you have Immediate Dread, that would get just resolved right now. In most scenarios, though, that will get resolved once we go into the last battle.
The final fight.
The final fight, you'll resolve it. So you have a couple of chances to deal with this, though. Since that was just drawn, all of us could spend 1 grit right now and just make it go away. Or, as you're revealing them, everyone can spend 1 grit and make it go away. So you have a couple of options of making that go away. I still need to take my 6 brain punches, though.
Yep.
Because I happen to roll a 6 on this awful card. Everything is not a 3+. So that one, I take 1 brain damage. Boop. And unfortunately, that does not fill me with rage.
So, do we want to get rid of the growing dread?
I've got a grit.
I've got a grit. You guys want to just
do
get
it,
rid of that?
yeah.
Or do we just want to let it ride to see how it is at the last fight? So everyone who's playing this game...
Oh, yeah, you know what? All right, for the sake of the people.
For the sake of the viewers.
Yeah.
People.
Yeah.
For yous, we're letting this go through.
Okay.
Just so you can see how bad they are.
Yeah.
All right, so now, holding back the darkness. 7,
Held.
it is still held.
All right. Let's go ahead and get some movement going. I'll move up here, open the door.
And we need a river crossing.
A river
Hey,
crossing.
it's the first one.
Bam! There it is. So we can clear off this big face. Goodbye, big face.
Now there is a door back there.
Yeah, there is a door left, but we are running out of table space. We
Yep.
just have to let it go.
Just in case we have to go back down.
Sometimes we just let it go. All right,
Alright.
now we add exploration token. All right, so that was it for JC. Now it is Odin's turn. You got your 5 XP for kicking down
I
that
did.
door, right? Excellent.
5,
6 because of your pants.
1, 2, 3, 4. Ooh, I don't think I want to be in there, so I'm going to move behind JC
Okay.
right here.
All right,
Sounds good.
all right, and
And
you
you
can't
can't
scavenge.
scavenge.
Yep, we've already scavenged twice, so that kind of
Alright.
sucks. But
5 movement. Get me up there next to JC so we can stand side by
Alright.
side.
Hold
Let
the line.
That exploration took with ambush attack.
Oh.
Okay, what is an ambush attack? So ambush attacks are kind of nasty. So first things first, let's figure out what we're fighting. We are fighting D3 trolls. And they get an enemy trait card.
Oh.
Rolo. 2.
2. Okay. 2
All
trolls. I think we can handle this.
2 trolls. So first things first, who doesn't get a troll?
All
So
right.
roll.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
See who doesn't? I don't
Alright.
get a troll.
The Jarl doesn't
So,
get a troll.
Ambush attacks, instead of placing them out as far as way in that checkerboard pattern, they spawn right on top of us. So, 1 troll behind the House Carl,
So
and 1 troll in front of the Berserker, because they like to spread out as much as possible. They get an enemy trait card. So, what is their trait? Their trait is Slimy Skin, so they have +3 health.
Oh.
And they have black claws. Their melee hit rolls are 6+. Now ignore defense.
Woof.
So, let's take a look at these trolls here. They're initiative 4, but in this first turn, because they're ambushing, they get +2 to that. So they are initiative 6. They are going first. They are fear 2. So whenever you start your turn adjacent to them, they're scary. So when you start your turn adjacent to them, you take 2 horror hits. Regeneration 3. They heal 3 at the start of each turn. So we want to focus fire on just one of these guys.
Yep.
They throw rocks. At the start of its activation, they make a free ranged attack at a random hero within range and line of sight. So they're going to randomly throw a rock. It is 1 shot, damage D6 that ignores defense. That's kind of
Woof.
scary. And then they have 3 combat, 3 damage, 2 defense. So their defense is real low. So we'll be able to do a lot of damage, but they have 15 health.
Yep.
So they are a large creature. Because of that, their XP is a little different.
So let's go ahead and show that real quick.
So let's flip the dupe there. You'll
so you can see the enemy card here, all the stuff we were just talking about.
So all the stuff we were just talking about. If you notice, their XP is 5
Right here.
and then +5. So what that means is every time you do 1 damage to them, just because in any attack, if you do any wounds at all, you get 5 XP. Then for every single wound you do in that attack, you get another 5 XP. So this is an area where if you've only played the really old pre-revised set, this rule is slightly different. In a hit, in an attack, let's say you hit 3 times, you only get that first 5 once.
Yep.
and then you get +5 for every wound you do.
Yep.
That is something that's different for those of you who only have played old Brimstone.
Yep.
You do not get as much XP from these guys.
But it's per attack action. So if you have 2 attack actions...
So if you have a free attack and then an attack, those are 2 separate attacks, which will then give you that first initial 5.
Speaking of which, we're at the start of a fight. So that was from resolving the exploration token, so we need to hold back the darkness.
So we need to hold back the darkness first and foremost, because that's what we always do. And we get an 8, so it is held.
But we're at the start of a fight. We have those start of the fight abilities.
Yeah.
So I'm going to recover a grit. And then you have your free attack, right?
Yeah. So here's a question. Do range attacks have any negative if I'm right next to somebody?
So, sort of. You can only attack what you're adjacent to. So, since that guy's up in your face, you cannot make a ranged attack at that other troll across the way. Unless you have some special ability. It's usually called Veteran, is what usually enables, like, attacking away. But, no. You can attack in melee, no problem.
Okay. So even though I'm next to somebody, I can go, I'm going to shoot my bow from 5 feet away.
Right in your face.
But only at things you're adjacent to. So,
Right.
so again.
I can shoot at this guy, can't shoot at this guy.
Exactly.
Okay. So I'll take my 2 shots at him.
2 shots. That's 2 crits.
Oh,
double
2
sixes.
crits. Beautiful.
Double crits. So then... Okay.
So they each do a d6 of damage. And in this case, because they're crits, they're going to ignore his 2 defense. So it's whatever your dice is for damage. So a whopping 4 damage.
I feel like I want to reroll those. Can I do that?
That's not a bad idea, yeah. Go ahead and...
Yeah. Take that crit. There you go.
Much better.
That's much better.
10 damage
So
to that guy.
So I did 10 damage. How much XP do I get?
So you get 5 XP because you did a wound at all.
Okay.
And then each wound you did is another 5 XP.
So I get
55.
55 XP.
55 XP for blasting that dude even before the start. So he's at
10 damage on him already.
Nice. My free attack's great.
And then you have a beginning of a fight ability.
I do. Right? All of us regain 1 rage. I am at max rage though.
I think I am also at max rage.
I'm not. I'll take it.
Yeah. There you go, buddy.
All right. So now initiative
is their
6.
turn. So this is one of those interesting cases where, again, you have to kind of figure out how it the execution order, because they also have a start of each turn. They would regenerate 3. But like I said, whenever you want to come back to the ordering of that, we could decide to activate after they do theirs, or if it's a situation where it's important. We would say these guys were initiative 6, so that regeneration would have happened at initiative 6.
Yep.
And then we resolved ours, so he doesn't get to regenerate.
Yep. Not this turn.
Not this turn. So in this case, it was in our benefit
that he was faster.
It would have been in our negative if he was slower, because Odin would have done that 10 damage, and then he would have regenerated. All right. One also good way to do that is other games have whenever you're presented with a decision like this, choose whatever's worst for the party.
Yeah.
In this game, talk to your people who are playing and just say, hey, when we're in these situations, do we want to resolve it what's best for us, or do we want to resolve it what's worst for us?
Yeah.
And it depends on your group. If you want people who are like, I don't really want to lose, I just want to play the game and enjoy it, err on the side of what's best for us as a party. If you're playing this a lot and you're like, I want to crank up the difficulty a little bit, always err on the side of what sucks the most for us.
Sure, yeah.
All right, so they get a go. So this is one of those areas where we can speed up the game. Each of them makes a attack against a random hero. So decide who does not get the random attack. So 1, 2. JC does not get the random attack.
Darn it.
So Odin, attack me. JC, attack Odin.
What am I attacking you with?
You are attacking
a single shot.
A single shot. So 1d6, you're throwing 1 rock.
Looking for a 5+.
Looking for a 5+.
They both miss.
They both miss. If you're just learning the game, resolve those one at a time, and everyone pay attention to what's happening and understand. But since you might be in a situation where we all know how to play, this Odin attacking me doesn't need to resolve for JC attacking Odin to resolve. Like you can streamline the game by combining simultaneous actions. All right, now they're going to start punching though.
Okay.
They've already decided their targets. There's one on JC, so it's attacking JC 3 times.
Yep.
And then it is attacking Odin 3 times.
That's
so
right.
JC gets 3 attacks, so I'm attacking JC. They do have this really... Oh, that was a 3 and a 2. They do have this really terrible thing on 6+. But that doesn't look like the case, so they hit on a 4+.
So 1 hit on you, Odin.
Okay.
0 hits on you, JC.
So
now,
what do I do?
Now you get to take it in defense against this because it wasn't a 6. It doesn't ignore your defense. So JC handed you the number of dice that you were hit by. So you roll 1 defense save. You're looking for a 4+.
That is not.
Oh, womp womp. So now you take 3 damage.
Now remember, you have a shield.
Except this is those situations where you have to decide what you were equipping at the beginning of your turn.
Oh, that's
so
a fair
did you
point.
have the bow equipped, or did you have the... So the special caveat here is you can make that attack with that bow even without it being equipped for your...
Right, because that was a free attack.
Yeah.
Right.
I think where somebody was right next to me, I think the sword and shield
All right.
would have been what I
So
I think that makes sense as well, so I'm fine with retroactively ruling that you
3
had the
damage
shield.
is coming in towards you. You can just block that with your shield.
3 ones. Yeah, I think I will block that.
So
Okay.
one way to kind of, one thing that's helpful, is doing that as a reminder to yourself that you've already used that
If
this
you've
turn.
ever played
A legally different term than tapping.
Yeah.
if you have ever
flooping.
played a
Specific.
what's a divinely energy based card game,
Right?
Yeah.
we don't want the Pinkertons coming.
All right.
I approve.
So they have gone then, right?
Yep, they've gone. So now it's down to us. So JC or Odin, who wants to go first?
I think it's 6s because I have to attack this guy.
Yeah.
So I think it's, and you have to attack the other guy. So
JC can go for an escape
I
test.
can. Not only that, I automatically pass all escape tests and may move through other models. So
nice.
I think Odin should go first because you have the chance of possibly killing this guy. And
I
if
mean,
you
it's
do, I'll stay
possible.
where
He
I'm at.
has
It's possible.
18, or he has 8 health left.
Yeah,
Okay, so
that's gonna be tough.
it's possible.
I'm using my sword
Yep. So
to
you
try
have,
and attack him.
you have 2 combat,
So I have 2 combat,
and then what's your
and
sword?
then my combat hits are +1 damage against beast and demon enemies.
He's a beast, so you are doing +1 damage here.
Okay, so I get 2 attacks.
Yep, and you're hitting on a 4+. That's
Ooh,
a crit.
crit.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So you do a D6 worth of damage.
Okay, so we'll roll that again, and that's a
5,
five.
6 damage.
6. Yeah, because of this.
Why don't you spend some rage?
Yeah.
Because you can spend.
This is a combat hit.
Sure, I don't really have anything else to use them, but remember, you can only use up to 3.
But he doesn't have armor, so, and since it's a crit, this is all going through. So he has 8 hit points left. You're doing 6, so if you spend 2 rage, he's dead.
Wait.
So you have 5 from the die,
Yep,
You have +1 from your axe.
yep, so that's 6.
and then if you spend 1 rage, that'll become 7. 2 rage, that becomes 8.
Right.
And he only has 8 hit points left.
He doesn't have that. I dealt 10 to him last time.
But he has +3 health because of his
Yeah.
slimy skin.
Gotcha. Okay, so yeah, we'll do 2 rage, and that puts us up, and he doesn't have any defense, so he dead.
He
Boom.
did. D-E-D
So how much-
did.
How many XP do I get for that?
So you get 5 because you did a wound,
Yep.
and then 8 times 5.
So I got 45 more XP.
Yep.
Exactly.
And
cow.
because you killed a beast enemy, let's take a look at page 8 for the Viking heroes. Any hero that is keyword Norse or Hunter, which we are all Norse, may collect pelt marks during an adventure.
Ooh.
When you kill a keyword beast, you collect 1 pelt. But he was large, so you get D3 pelts instead. So you get
I get 3
3
pelts.
pelts.
Wow.
Nice.
I not only killed him with my sword, I skinned him right quick.
Right, real quick. So you can
Okay.
sell pelts for $10 each in town, but more importantly, they're used for upgrading the
Sweet.
town.
That's
Alright.
a lot of XP.
Yeah.
I took that guy down by myself,
Yeah, you
basically.
did.
I killed that guy.
All right, my turn. That was a 6 for movement. But also at the start of my activation each turn,
I didn't move.
Did you roll to move?
I didn't.
Oh, okay.
So, hey, you get a
so
grit.
you get a grit. Okay.
That's why it's important.
Yes, that's why it's always important.
Even
to
if
start
you
with.
don't want to move, always roll to move.
Wait, didn't I use? No, I used that after my free action.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
So you have a grit.
Yeah,
there. Okay. So at the start of my activation each turn, I get a rage for each enemy adjacent to me, or D3 rage tokens for each large size or bigger. So this guy is large, so I get 2 rage tokens.
Nice.
And now I'm going to go ahead and spend 4 rage, get myself 6 combat, and start wailing on this guy.
So I started blasting. Ooh, there you go. 1 hit and a crit.
Hitting the crit. I'll use my grit.
Oh yeah, grit it up. So the Berserker is one of those characters which is like, obviously, he gets a lot of attacks, but he only hits on a 5+. Grit is absolutely critical for him. Oh, there we go.
that was so much better.
4 hits and a crit. So I'm going to use one of these and 4 of these.
Oh, we messed something up.
What did we mess
And
up?
this is one of those wonderful things, again, just reiterating, it's a cooperative game and you can roll things back.
Oh, right.
You activated next to him. He's
Yes.
scary. You take 2 fear hits.
Oh,
So make 2 sanity saves.
To make
or
2
willpower
sanity
saves.
willpower saves. He was scary.
so I just need 3+.
You
got
passed
it. I
both
got
of
2
them,
saves.
doesn't
And I
matter.
need to do it as well. And I make them both.
There you go. No one
Okay.
cares. No one cares.
All right.
It wasn't
so
that scary.
now, let's see if we can do some damage to this guy. Okay. So, you know what?
Spinning your last grit?
I think I might use my last grit
Oh,
here.
spinning your last grit here. Alright, so that is 4. Okay, so he has a defense of 2.
So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Plus 4.
Plus 4.
10.
So 10 damage to him.
10 damage to him.
All right. Setting you up, bud.
And you are out of grit.
I'm
And
out
you
of
get-
grit.
Are out of rage as
And you
well.
get
Yeah.
55 XP?
Yep.
Yep.
5 plus 10 times 5.
There it is. All right, so it's my turn. So first things first, movement. Movement, whenever it's your activation, always first. I do not get a grit. However, whenever I start my activation adjacent to 1 or more enemies that have fear or terror, I recover a grit on a 4+. So I get a grit, but I'm at max grit, so it kind of doesn't matter. Unfortunately, I can't spend my grit for this.
Okay.
So I would immediately have to spend it, so there's nothing for me to immediately spend it on.
Yeah. Take your fear hits.
Take my 2 fear hits. I take 1
sanity damage.
Getting a little scared here. Alright, so I get 2 combat using the D8 to hit. That is 2 crits.
Oh, yeah.
Each of these, ooh, here's a question. Do I spend 5 rage to do 2 extra combat? Or do I spend my rage to do extra damage?
It's only got 8 health left.
So I only got 8 health
So
left.
I feel like that's...
And I have 2 crits.
Yeah.
So I feel like I save it for damage.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Alright, so.
Yeah, 100% that's right.
Yeah.
So that's 2 damage. So I could spend, oh, I actually have to spend rage before rolling damage.
Oh, you do?
Because you have to spend rage to add 1 to your combat hits, right? Let's take a look at the rage exact, like, because there's bigger.
Yeah, that is an interesting question.
All right.
Oh yeah, because it's each one of your combat hits, so you spend it and then you have like +2, +4. So if you had multiple hits.
Interesting, yeah. That is different than I was reading it.
Yeah. So I'd have to apply it before rolling damage, right?
Yeah.
I would apply it to the.
I mean, you're gritting
Yes.
this anyway, so.
I am gritting this. This is a wonderful use for grit. I'm just trying to go back to think if like, oh, should I spend rage for 2 extra attacks? Because I'm going to lose a bunch of this rage.
I still think the damage
anyways.
is better because
Yeah.
essentially you're saying, okay, I got 2 hits, I've got, you know, +2, +4, +6.
Plus, it's one of those like, do you want
So essentially, you spend 3 rage
versus
you win, no matter
Oh,
what you
per
roll.
hit. So I could do this. I could do 4 rage.
No, so you can only do up to 3 per hit.
Per hit. I have 2 hits. So I'm putting 2 on a hit, and I'm putting 2 on a hit.
Okay.
Excellent. I technically have done this. I should have done this before rolling damage, but now that we're clarifying this, this is how I would have done that.
Let's read that again. Use rage. I'm reading that incorrectly. Use rage tokens to add +1 damage each to 1 of your combat hits.
Limit 3 rage per hit.
So it's not doubling.
Yeah, it doesn't double.
No, so that I'm assigning that I technically haven't rolled damage yet.
Yep.
And then I go to roll damage, and that's that one, and that's that one. This is one of those cases where you'll now have to make sure you assign which dice
Right.
is each hit. But in this case, I'm going to grit these double 1s of damage. So this is my left attack, and that's that attack. So that is 6. That's 8 exactly, right?
No, that's 9.
It's 9.
That is 9. Welcome to math, y'all. 9 damage.
All right, that's enough to
But
kill him.
I only did 8, though.
Yeah.
I
So
only
you
did
don't
8.
get 9 wounds worth of XP. You only get 8 because that's all the damage
So
you
I
get.
get 45 XP. And then I get a D3 of pelts. I get 3 pelts as well. Thank you very much.
So many pelts.
So many pelts. So that is the end of combat, and we all get to catch our breath. So we all activated, so we only get to heal. Womp womp. I will take a heal of 3
I'm not
though, and
even
heal
hurt.
my 2 sanity. Don't you have a sanity damage?
Nope.
Oh, okay. So healing across the board, and then we had 1 card that summoned an enemy.
Yep. So we each get
So we get 1 loot card. So here you go. What are you getting? What are you getting? Heart of the cards. Heart of the cards.
I got a good find.
I got
some
a
loose coins.
Darkstone shard.
I draw a gear.
Nice. All right. Here's your gear card.
I get a supply cart.
Ooh. What is a
Okay,
supply card?
Supply cart. I can choose one of the following: 2 ale, 2 bandages, or a tonic. I haven't really been hurt much. I feel like. But I've got a tonic in my bag. I will take
Can you give me a Darkstone? Right?
2.
There Thank you. All right.
2. I'll take 2 ale.
2 ale.
So, one thing to keep in mind is you can only carry 5 side bag tokens. None of us are close to that, but if we were in a situation where we were running out of space, you can only carry 5 side bag tokens.
And just like with items with anvils, if you get more than 5, you get to choose what you give away to someone else or just drop on the ground.
Yeah, it becomes an inventory management game.
Yeah,
A little bit.
a little bit.
All right, and with that, we go back to holding back the darkness. It is held barely,
Barely.
because we are about to be 8 pluses, and that's a 7 plus. So go ahead and take your turn.
Okay.
And there was double doors on both of these.
Yep. So 1, 2, 3. All right. Rolling the scavenge.
Go ahead and start your turn, Odin. You can move.
Nope, didn't get it.
3 movement.
And then I will also scavenge.
All right. So while he's doing that, I'll take my movement. Just keep it going.
Yes.
Yeah, you got it.
All right. So I get to move 5 spaces.
Loose stones, so I need to roll with.
Come on, big money, big money.
Yeah, big money.
No.
3.
3 is not big money.
Can I grit that?
No, it's a chart roll.
Oh. Okay.
What'd you get?
Take D3 horror hits.
Or
Oh.
D6 horror hits.
What?
D6 horror hits.
Was it 3?
Oh.
D3 is the heal. D6.
So I take D6 horror hits.
Yep. So roll a D6. How many times do you get hit? 4 times.
So what do I do?
So now you get 4 saves. And these are willpower saves. They
So
are
I
brain
need-
punches.
So I need a 3 plus.
So you need 3 pluses. Yep.
So I take 1.
All right. There's your 1 sanity damage.
That's
All right.
All right.
I'm
And
mostly
then
safe.
are you scavenging?
I will scavenge. You get did you get your 10 XP from that card though?
No.
You
Make
get
sure
10.
to write down your 10 XP.
I get a
Right.
scavenge. I'm fully scavenged up here. I get a nothing here
Which
but
is
a
a
loot
loot.
card. You look good. 30 XP and a Darkstone.
Okay.
You playing that team ability is pretty good, JC.
That's why I did it.
All righty right. So now that is the end of the round. We're flying through now.
XP.
Oh yeah, thank you. I get 20. No, I got 30.
Oh, you got 30. You did.
But I didn't get my 10 from my.
Okay. There we go.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
All right. Holding up back the darkness. Oh no! But we're still.
We're okay.
We're okay. We still get our pillaging.
Yep.
All right.
Okay. Movement. 5. That's enough to get to the door.
All right. Let's kick down this door. And what do we got? We got an icy crags.
Show me your icy crag.
Hey girl, where's your icy crags? Is that an icy crag? That looks like an icy crag.
All right. There we go. And then we'll get an exploration token out here. And it is Odin's turn.
Yep.
Dokie.
So, XP, you level up at 500.
7.
7. Okay.
So whenever you get to 500 XP, you get the chance to level up.
Sorry.
Which, at the end of this adventure, we will go through a little leveling up action, just to show everyone what that's like. Oh my god. What are you doing? Where are you going? Okay.
You're gonna go there.
All right. My turn. Movement. Foe. I guess move me up. Yeah, then we'll you like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Good job, House Girl. You're going to get. All right. What do we get? We get an encounter and a
second clue.
So,
How many clues do we need to get?
we need 2 clues, so this is going to be the last one. So let's refer back to what the mission is. When the second clue is revealed, the heroes have found the objective room. Ignore any encounters or attacks on the token, as well as any door icons. There are no exits in this room, so all those are
getting out.
Instead, the heroes must draw a threat card from 1 level higher than normal. So we need to draw a red threat card. Uh-oh. We need 12 Grimians. Oh no. Grimians are bad. Oh no. Grimians are bad.
Bud.
From nowhere, these Grimians are ambushing. If they're already ambushing, they also get a free immediate attack when placed. So Grimians are awful.
They are awful.
Is that all the Grimians?
That's all 12 of them. Grimians are scary little guys.
They got fed after midnight.
They did. So, instead of a normal melee attack, each Grimian does 1 automatic combat hit to every adjacent hero. Pile on. Grimian combat hits each do damage equal to the number of Grimians adjacent to that hero, and they're sneaky. They move through other models. When adjacent to 1 or more Grimians, anytime a hero rolls a 1 to hit them at the end of the hero's attack, place a new Grimian into the fight if possible, adjacent to that hero. Are you?
I'm gonna be so good.
Are you? JC's just going to summon a bunch of Grimians. So, thankfully though, all right, so with ambush, you just try to get as many as possible on everyone. All right, perfect. Let's determine how many there are on each of us. So we try to keep it even. So 2, 3, so there's going to be a miss number here. So there are 4 around the house, Carl. There are 5. He can, because that thing doesn't break the corner. So if you notice the black line,
the corner,
you can see the corner. Can you see the corner or no?
It goes right along the corner.
I don't think you can.
Okay, so then that guy cannot attack.
Okay.
So
we have 2 here, 2 here, 3 on the house card.
So there's 2 on this person.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, but these 2 are gonna go on. So these 2 are gonna go on me.
Gotcha.
These 2 are gonna go on him. These 3 will go on.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Exactly. And they're ambushing, so they are initiative 7. So they get to go first. So this is one of those cases where even if you play this a lot, resolving this one at a time just makes it easier for everyone to grow.
It does, yeah.
So we will start with the house Carl. He has 3 attacking him.
Well, hold on. Start of a fight.
Good call. Thank you.
We're going to hold back the darkness.
Yep. Thank you, JC, for catching me. there's a handful of things we need to do. So first things first.
Did we not already do that for the turn?
No, so we came and found this encounter.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
And we encountered the final room of the fight, or of the mission. And so we spawned all the gremlins as part of the encounter.
Now we do Growing Dread.
Growing Dread.
So let's read the story here. The last gasp. Distracted by greed and war, humanity cannot conceive that its true fate will come, not at the hands of each other, but of the darkness that lies just below the surface of reality. During the next fight, or the current one, all enemies have +2 combat and +1 shot if they have a ranged attack. We need to all spend grit to get rid of this.
Here's the fun thing. I got rid of all my grit.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. So we have to take this now. Unless this is one of those areas where we can get cheeky. We cannot get cheeky because there are monsters on the map.
Yeah, you can't give me that tonic.
To trade items or to trade sideback tokens, you have to be side by side.
Yep.
Because JC and the Berserker are not adjacent,
The Housecarl, yeah.
the Housecarl cannot hand the Berserker a tonic to give him a grit. So, do we have any mechanisms that give us grit? Any of our team abilities or anything of that nature?
I don't think so.
I can just give you rage tokens.
So, unfortunately, these Gremlins are going to have +2 combat each, which is going to be nasty.
Because this is happening before the turn, right?
This is happening before the turn, so JC's start of the adventure stuff does not trigger.
Yep.
So in that case, we cannot get rid of that.
Okay.
Okay,
So-
but we do get to do our like free attacks and things like that.
So now we resolve
Now
that.
we'll hold back the darkness.
So now we hold back the darkness. 10, it is thankfully held.
Okay. And now, start of the fight.
Hey, we lost track. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 4, 5, 6. We are at 8 pluses, but I rolled a 10, so we are good.
Oh, wait.
Aha!
Here's how I might get a grit.
Because we need to resolve this in order. This happened as soon as we opened the door.
Yeah.
We all roll a d6.
Yep.
And I get a grit.
Okay.
What did we need?
So,
A 4+.
because of the Norse lands, whenever we cross into that new threshold, Odin's Light takes effect.
You're welcome.
And we get a grit on a 4+, but I'm the only one who did that.
Yep.
But we did the horror part.
No,
the horror
because we-
never, the
Oh,
darkness
right.
never crossed.
All right. So we held back the darkness.
Yep.
Now we get to start the
Start of the fight.
start of the fight. So
I get a grit.
now you get a grit.
Yeah.
Wish we had that before. Odin, what you got?
So I've got my bow that I get to shoot.
Yep.
So I'll roll two shots.
Yep. Ooh,
Oh,
nothing.
I'm redoing that.
Yeah. Grit in
Especially
that.
because there's a 1.
Yeah.
That's not any
that's-
better.
No, it is better because you didn't roll a 1 on an attack.
Yeah. So if you roll a 1, more Grimians would spawn, and since there's no more Grimian models available, they
They would
get
get
an
an
elite ability and really mess us up.
Yeah.
Okay. And
All right,
then
so-
just so that we're clear, I'm going to use my sword and shield.
Good
Yes,
call.
good call.
Good call. All right. So everyone gets a rage token.
Okay. There's 1 for you, 1 for you. Oh, and 1 for me.
All right. Now the Grimians get to activate. So
Initiative 7.
So instead of a normal melee attack, each Grimian does 1 automatic combat hit to every adjacent thing. So how does that work with this combat? This is one of those places where, again, having the conversation with your party, you want to rule in favor of the party because technically rules as written, they don't have +2 combat, right? Because they're not
Doesn't do
attacking.
anything. Yeah.
Right? Or do we err on the side of clearly the spirit of this is they get 2 attacks extra each?
No, I don't think that's clearly the spirit.
I think that's clearly the spirit of the Growing Dread card that is supposed to be awful. So I would say we would err on the side of the extra combat
Capital C combat.
applied to it. So, and this is another area where if you look, there's usually FAQs and stuff about each of the creatures and the characters. So let's take a look at...
Take a little look-see.
what they got in the rule book to see if there's anything special. There is nothing in here about their combat.
Okay.
So it is just, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that one, it's just like you automatically get a hit, and then this gets applied to, like, they're gonna attack me. That's their normal attack.
But that is their normal attack. Mischief is their normal attack.
Yeah, they don't have a normal combat.
Because that's why there's an asterisk here, because that is their normal attack. So this is technically +2.
I think
So-
I'm inclined, just because I'm inclined to say that that's +2 combat hits.
I'm inclined to say that as well.
So we get 3 combat hits?
3 automatic
From
combat
each
hits.
model.
That seems awful.
It's awful. We're going to die.
So I think the easiest way to resolve this is each of us just figure out how many models are adjacent to you.
No. It's it is, because it's not even numbers attacking
And
you.
that's why I'm thinking it's
1,
not.
2, 3, 4 times 3. That would be 12
'Cause
automatic hits.
that just seems
Sometimes that happens in this
That
game.
does happen in this game.
Sometimes
okay.
So
things
let's
are
see.
just bad.
right.
This is the last boss fight.
This is the boss
Sure.
fight, yeah.
And we have tons of resources. You have
We
your
do.
runic ring. We have a revive token. We have...
Yep. Let's see how this stuff works.
Let's see how all these things work. So let's see how this plays out. So you get 3, 6, 9, 12 hits.
So let me grab 12 dice.
No, they're automatic.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So this is a great point, because then they do 4 damage each.
Yeah.
That would literally do...
That seems like, I get what you're saying, that seems strong, but that seems like a lot.
Overkill?
Yeah. Yeah, that doesn't... Yeah.
I think that's beyond spirit of making it difficult. You get,
Because we would all automatically just die.
yeah.
And again,
That does happen.
that's
But,
quite
all right,
the game.
all right. So if we want to play this out a little more, let's just say that they get +2 combat, which does nothing to them. So what that means is then you are taking 4 automatic hits.
Yes.
Instead
That
of 12.
do 4 damage each. Do number of Grimians adjacent to that hero.
Yep.
Yeah. So I think you still die.
Well, he gets defense rolls against him, right?
No. They're... Oh, yes!
Yeah.
Back it up. It still definitely would mean that we would take those extra hits. How do automatic... Yes. Yes, we would definitely take the +2 hits here.
Okay.
I was thinking defense wasn't being applied.
No, defense is being applied.
Yeah, so 12 hits, you get 12
Okay.
defense saves.
Do 12 defense saves.
That's still gonna kill me.
No, you'll be fine. You'll be fine.
We'll see.
You'll be fine. So all the 4 pluses. Yeah, see, you're fine.
He's not
You're
fine.
fine.
Not fine.
You're fine. He has a grit.
You're not fine.
Definitely roll it, spin a grit.
Because that's all the 4 pluses, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so then I spend that. So that's 2.
So you take
8
damage.
damage. You might want to use a shield there.
Yeah.
So you
So
take
there's
5 damage.
5.
I was thinking that it...
That still
Automatic
seems
hits.
like busted.
Oh, no, it's strong.
It's gonna make this fight very hard, and we're probably gonna die. Okay, so you take 8 damage.
No, I take 5.
Oh,
5.
5 damage. 5 damage. Okay.
So you get two rage, though.
You do
No, I get 1 rage.
1 rage.
I
That's
get
max
another
rage.
4.
Oh, right. Okay. You get 1 rage. Okay.
Do I have to use this as an action right now?
Nope, you can use it whenever
you
you
can use
want.
it anytime.
As kind of like
Okay,
a
I'm
free
not
action.
gonna do that because
Yeah,
I need it.
that's fine.
Okay.
That's smart. That's smart. Okay. So now I have 4 adjacent to me.
So that's 12.
Okay.
JC will die.
Well, that's why I was saying, like, you were like, oh, don't worry, it's just like 2, 2, 2. I'm like, I don't think that's what's.
No. This is a really nasty combo with that. That's for sure. Oh, JC, you're going to want to spend your grit.
Am I?
Yeah, I think so.
Do I care?
Do you care, or do you just spend spend the revive token? No.
I'm probably gonna spend the revive token anyway.
All right. All right.
You're only at 5s.
Yeah.
But he has a lot more health.
He has a lot more health, so. Come on, buddy. Oh, no.
I told you.
All right. So, this happens. So, each of those does 4 damage.
6, 7, so 28 damage.
So, you fall over dead. However, we have a
Boom.
revive token.
So the revive token comes into play.
So, the revive token comes into play. JC immediately pops back up.
And I get a grit.
And because he has no grit, he has a grit and he's fully healed.
Yep.
From the revive token. Now it's my turn though. I have 5 of them against me.
You got armor though. You'll be fine.
I got armor. I'll
You'll
be
live
fine.
forever.
I'm fine. I'm fine. This is fine. Everything's fine. Okay, so
oh, you need
20, right?
So there's 12.
No, 15. 15.
Yeah.
All right. So I have a 4+ save here. And I have piles of grit here. Alright, alright. Alright, look, I'm fine. See, I told you I was fine, JC. Spin a grit.
Okay. Reroll that.
Heart of the cards, heart of the cards. Yeah. Look at that. So I take 12 damage, right?
Yep.
No.
No, 16.
5 each. Right?
Oh, yeah. So 20 damage.
20 damage. All right. 4, 5, 10, 15. So I need 5 more dice.
There you go. All right.
All right. I'm going to die.
All you got to do is block 9 of it.
Now here's an interesting question. I have this to discard to heal some health. How can I use that between like saves?
Do batches of 5.
Do batches of 5? Yeah. So there we go. So I am taking 3 damage.
Okay.
So I would like 3 damage, please.
3 damage.
But by
on
rolling it
Yoro.
this way, that means I don't get to grit.
Well.
So I'm rolling my armors in batches
Well, I
of
mean,
5.
unless you roll a chunk of them that are all 1s and one.
Right, but I can't grit all my misses because
Understood.
I'm rolling them in batches of 5. So 2 more damage.
Okay.
Trade you out for that. Okay. We'll do 1 more batch of 5 because I can survive that. Ooh, I will grit that batch of 5. Okay. So just all misses. So I take 4 more damage. Okay. And I'm going to spin this to heal D6 wounds. I'm going to grit that.
Yep.
I heal 5 wounds.
Okay.
Alright, and I only have 4 more left. 4? You should have 5. I rolled.
You rolled something. You rolled one of the things. There you go.
Alright, so I take 1 more damage. Okay. So I've taken through that 10 damage.
Yeah.
So I get 3 more rage.
Okay.
And this gets discarded.
Didn't you get rage from that rolling a 5 on that too?
No, it's only on a 1, 2, or 3.
Okay.
But I'm at max rage. See, guys, we're fine.
We're fine. We'll live
fine.
forever.
We're fine. We'll live forever.
So we need to take out a whole mess of these guys in one turn somehow.
Yes.
It's not gonna happen though.
Oh no, they have awful.
They have 6 defense.
This is why I'm like,
But they only have 1 hit point.
I only have 1 hit point each. All right. So yeah.
JC, how do you want to do this?
Well,
I am going to give you rage. You don't want to do extra attacks. You want to do extra damage with your rage.
so
Maybe.
I'm gonna go ahead and
Do I spin this for rage?
are these guys immune to crits?
They are not immune to crits. But anytime you roll it to 1, at the end of your attack, place a new Grimion. But you kill Grimions first.
I think you should go first. Because I have a good chance of spawning more of these.
Yeah.
Because my base combat's 4. So
you get 2 attacks. Because you have 2 combat, because you have your sword.
All right,
2 hits and no ones, so that's fine.
That's important. All right, and the other important thing is your sword is against demon and beast, right?
Yes.
These
So you're
guys are
doing
demons.
+1 damage.
So if
So
you
why
roll a
don't
6,
you assign some rage to each of those? So why don't you
Oh,
put
yeah.
2 rage on each of those?
yeah.
So each hit is getting +2 rage. So then roll
Assign the hits.
Okay.
So probably do 1 at a time on this one.
Yes, I'll go here and here, I guess.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. So which the far guy first?
Yeah.
Yep. 4,
5, 6, 7.
7. He's dead.
Exactly.
All right. And then
How'd you get 7?
because your sword is doing +1, and then each
right.
rage is doing.
So roll a 4+. You
He's
got
dead.
him.
All right, there you go.
That's 2 dead.
So you get 20 XP from that.
All right. 2 dead gremlins, and more importantly, not a guaranteed elite ability if we roll
right.
1.
Yeah.
That's why I wanted you to go first.
All right, JC, I think you just going crazy and going ham and not rolling any ones, because it doesn't matter how many ones you roll.
How are we doing on rage tokens?
I'm full.
At the start of my activation, each turn I gain 1 rage token for each enemy adjacent to me. So,
So
I'm
you
about
get
to get
4.
4.
Okay, so we're fine for a minute.
Yeah, we're fine for now.
Yeah. So I'm gonna get.
So now
4
here's the
rage
question.
Tokens.
When adjacent to one or more, while adjacent to one or more gremlins, anytime a hero rolls a 1,
Anytime.
so each one is going to spawn a new one.
Yep.
So that's an interesting question. Do you get your extra attacks or do you save them for damage?
I think I do damage.
I think you save them for damage. All right,
Yeah.
so 4 attacks.
4 attacks. Because I don't want to risk more ones.
Yeah.
Ooh. Oh no, they move 3 miles. Yeah. I was wondering if I just run to the end of them. But yeah, here we go.
But actually, you running through the middle of them wouldn't be a bad idea because it would spread them out.
Yeah, so that we all get more on us.
Less on us, because if you move far enough away, some will move to you, some will move to me, some would move to Odin. But it doesn't matter.
I don't think that's gonna work out the way you think it's gonna.
All misses.
It's all misses.
But no ones.
No ones. Do I grit it?
I don't know. That's a tough call.
I think
This
I
is a
saved my
risky.
grit.
I think so.
Well, I'm probably gonna die.
Yeah, just go for it.
I'm just gonna go for it. I'm probably gonna die if I die.
Just gotta push it.
Just gotta push it.
There you go.
Okay, better.
2 crits and a hit.
Okay, so the crits are
Automatically
just auto
kills 2 of them.
So I'm just gonna kill these 2, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
So that's 20 XP, but then I get a hit that I will put 3 rage on.
There you go.
And this is gonna go on this guy back here. And yeah, let's see what happens. Not enough.
5. Just
Not
not enough.
Okay. So he stays there, so I get 20 XP. Okay, well, I did something.
You did something.
It was relevant, guys.
Good job. I am going to do my throwing axe, I think. Oh, roll for movement first.
Always roll for movement.
Oh, I didn't.
Nothing.
Oh, I didn't do that.
Do these guys do not have fear. I am going to use my throwing axe, which is range 1. Shots 1 plus 2 damage. So I will do this, I guess, on this guy here. 5, that's a hit.
Okay.
This is plus 2 damage. Unfortunately, not enough. Not enough. But now here's the question: do I spend 5 rage?
No.
No.
Well, do you?
To get 2 more combat?
Because you're rolling d8s for hit.
I'm rolling d8s to hit, so I have a less chance of rolling a 1 and a higher chance of critting.
Fucking do it.
Because
you're probably gonna die.
like what just
I'm
happened,
probably
if
going to
you roll a crit and it's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you
So
know what?
do it and
I'm
roll 3
going to.
crits.
So is there 1 more d8 around? It doesn't matter because I don't have a grit, so I don't need to roll it all together. Oh!
You get 1.
So 1 spawns, but 2 die.
Okay.
So 2 die outright, and then 1 comes back.
Okay. Boom. So you get 20 XP.
20 XP. So I killed 1, net 1.
Net 1.
Net 1.
So, and now we're going to have a lot less.
You are.
You are. Yeah, you are. I'm still.
Actually, I think it's going to be exactly the same.
No, because I had 4.
All right. So
let's see how it works out.
I think I am going to spend this war cry, right?
Oh, yeah. I'm going to use mine too, so that we get rage tokens.
Yeah. So what's yours?
D3.
Mine's a D3 as well.
Oh, they're both the same card. War cry.
Yeah.
Okay, you go ahead and use yours.
1.
Everybody gets 1?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, and then I'll use mine so that you can get more rage.
Okay.
And that'll be another 1.
Okay. Everybody gets 1 more. It's okay. 2 rage across the board. That's helpful.
2 rage. This is good. All right. Let's hold back the darkness here.
All right.
Do it.
Double 5s. Not good. Not good.
All right. Double 5s in the Norselands. Terrifying roar. A horrible roar echoes through the dark forest, chilling you to the bone. Each hero in the Norselands takes 3 horror hits that do 2 sanity damage each. That's fine.
So 3 that do
3 horror hits that do 2 sanity damage each.
So 3 saves. I take 2 sanity damage.
I take 2 sanity damage.
I don't kind of don't care about sanity damage right now.
Okay.
So
I get 2.
Okay.
all right. So we're still in this. I think we got this.
We'll see.
All right. So that was holding back the darkness.
Ooh. And don't forget the Battle Fury. Once per turn, when you kill an enemy, heal 2 wounds.
Oh, I
that
killed
didn't
2
matter
of
for
them.
me. So
So I'm down to 1.
okay,
I'm down to
both
1
of you
as
are down
well.
to 1. Yeah, that's big for you guys.
Great.
Yeah.
And but you none of us had sanity damage when that popped for you.
Yeah.
Correct.
All right. So you
this
guys are
time it will.
initiative 5. Sadly, the Grimians are initiative 5 too. So moves through other models. So they move in. So
Right.
no, that guy in the corner stays where he is because they do not change targets at the end of each turn.
So the other thing to be careful with is it says,
Okay.
so Sneaky moves through other models while adjacent to 1 or more Gremians anytime the heroes rolls.
yeah, they respawn. So we did
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
So
So,
that guy steps forward. That guy steps diagonal. Which way would he go? He would go the furthest path, so he would go forward. And then that guy would...
no, they don't change targets though.
But those
These
guys
guys
aren't
weren't
targeted.
targeted. That's why I said it's going to be exactly the same.
That
Yeah.
sucks.
Oh my god. All right. So 4, 8, 12, 6 No, 3, 6, 9, 12 attacks against Odin, right?
Yep.
So 12 saves, Odin. You got this. You don't care if you die, you pop right back up anyways.
That's true.
Yeah. You got that fancy runic ring.
Oh, and this comes back.
Well, he doesn't pop right back up, but let's see how this goes.
What do you mean I don't pop right back up?
You just don't roll when you recover. You don't roll
Oh, you don't pop back up.
Yeah.
You just don't take the wound.
for Yeah.
We all get a rage
Okay.
from my war party. Oh, that's looking okay.
It's looking okay.
You got some
What's my
grit.
defense? Oh, it's
4 plus.
4 plus.
Okay,
Okay, that's
so
not great.
yeah, but you got a grit, so re-roll all that.
Yeah, we'll do that.
You're looking all right. You're looking okay. So they do 4 damage each.
Yeah, that's
So that's
16.
12 damage. Oh, 16 damage. You're right. So even if you block, how many times can you block? Can you reset your shield?
Did you take the shield thing?
Yeah,
So you would take 10 damage.
because I would use it and then I can get it ready again and use it again.
Between hits, basically. So you would take one of those hits. Use it. Yeah.
Yeah,
But unfortunately, 10 is still enough to
because you have
take you
no
down.
plus health, right?
Nope.
So as
No, and I was -1 anyway.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it was
So you go down.
Just barely.
It's bullshit.
All right. So Viking down.
Fighting down.
So I don't get to come back up because JC already used the token.
Whoever dies first gets the revive token gets used.
Yep.
All right, so now this is where we all die, though. So JC, you take
12.
12.
Yep.
So 12 saves, and I take 12 saves as well.
So give me the. Yep. Thank you. All right. It's been fun. All right. A hella die.
Oh, because you don't even have any crit.
Yeah.
And they do 4 damage each. 12.
Yeah, I'm hella dead. Biking down.
I think I live. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. I'm still up.
By 1.
So
By
I
2.
No, he's got a
no,
one
I got a
already.
+1 health.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Is he only had 1 wound, so okay.
So I still have 2 hit points, but I get a bunch of rage.
Yeah, you go up to max rage.
Yep. So I'm at 5 rage. All right, so it's my turn.
You spend 5 rage.
I spend 5 rage for extra combat, I think.
I mean, not that you can survive this, but
Yeah. We'll see how this goes. That's 2 crits and 2 hits.
So 2 crits are automatic auto kills.
So kill the 2 on behind. Kill the 2 behind
oh
me.
yeah, good call, good call, good call.
Kill the 2 behind me. And then damage on those 2 guys, which I don't think I can even kill them.
One at a time though.
I can't kill them even if I wanted to, though, right?
Oh right, yeah, you can.
Because
you have no plus damage.
I have no plus damage.
Why? So they both go on 1.
But it's 1 at a time. You don't add them together.
Yeah, they're not cumulative. That would be awesome. Yeah, so you just roll your damage, but it doesn't matter.
Nothing.
Neither of those get their
But
defense.
I heal 4.
Yep.
Give me a 1 back.
Okay.
And I get 20 XP for that.
Yep.
And I don't spawn anymore, so that's important.
And then hold back the darkness.
Hold back the darkness. This time we pray for some double 6s.
Not
Bell
enough
to
even
hold.
it.
So I get a darkness card. Each hero must make a spirit 5+ test.
I'm dead. I don't need your bullshit.
Here's the question: are any of you at 500 XP?
No.
No.
I'm at 220.
All right, spirit 5+ test. I have 1 spirit. I failed. It failed. You're -1 on all your willpower rolls. Cool.
Okay.
They go. They stand on your corpses too. So there's 5 of them, and they each do 3 combat. So that's 15.
15. Here's 12.
6, 9, 10, 15. Thank you, Jason.
Okay.
Oh god. Dice down. Thank you. There's a dice in the shard. Alright, let's see if I somehow live. Oh, I get a rage. Not that it matters. Thank you.
Oh, buddy.
Oh, heart of the cards!
Oh, buddy.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times
5.
5.
So 40
Times 5.
armor saves.
Because there's 5 of them around me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm dead.
All right. All right. We had a good run.
All right.
Seems a little broke.
I think, taking a look at this, that definitely should not apply to Grimians.
I think rules is written it doesn't, but
I don't think rules
it says combat, not
Yeah.
combat hits.
I that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think taking a look at this now and taking a step back and reviewing it definitely doesn't apply. But it was fun.
It was fun.
And you lose in this game sometimes.
You do lose in this game sometimes.
So what happens when you lose? Are you dead?
No.
No.
You
So
have.
this is a great example.
Yeah.
We can use this as a teaching moment. So we're all unconscious.
Boom.
You, however,
Viking
are
down.
lucky. You have a runic ring. Technically, what happens is we are considered fleeing the adventure. We escape. Some townsfolk find us something. We don't die, but we all roll on the injury charts.
Except
You,
for
however, don't because of your sweet runic ring.
Sweet.
So
JC
you
has a chart over here.
will roll. You get to roll 2d6. Or no, it's the end of the adventure. So how does that work? Do we do 2d6 healing, or do we?
We full heal.
We full heal still. Okay, so you're fine.
All right, cool.
You'll live forever. You, in fact, heal all your sanity.
All right.
Um,
I get a 6.
a 6 is a slashed leg. A deep, painful cut runs across your leg, making it hard to stand, let alone to walk. You're a -1 move to a minimum of 1.
Okay, so I'm -1 move now,
Okay.
which you would keep track of this on your character sheet.
Yep. 5. Gouged eye. You cannot get critical hits with your ranged attacks. I don't care. I'm a berserker.
Right? Sometimes you don't care.
Yeah.
But now if you ever would roll the same injury again, you go down
Yep.
the chart. So you would take the lower
Whatever's
number.
lower, yep.
And if you ever, I think, get a 1, it's you're dead, right?
1 to 2, you are ripped apart.
You die. So now we would look at our adventure.
And I get to keep all
Reward.
the gear?
We get to keep all our gear, but we used up all of our tokens, so in a way we're weaker than we were when we started.
Odin just traded a tonic for 2 ale.
Yeah, well, that's true.
And got some pants.
And got some pants.
Some
And some
all in all, this
XP.
was a win for Odin.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
I'm okay with this. I'm a little, yeah.
a lot of adventures will have failure cases, which this one does not, because it is the beginning adventure. And so that does happen rarely. It's not a normal
I
thing.
come back as this guy.
But this was a clear
Fuck you, gremlins.
moment where we tried to get a little too err on the side of creatures.
Yep.
And it bit us in the boot. So now this is one of those areas where I'll say there's going to be an FAQ for this.
Oh yeah.
Like in the next few months, as people play and these questions come up, there's going to be they do official FAQs and erratas and things of that nature. So I'll even look, because there might be one in the adventure book.
Yeah, sometimes you lose, and most often I would say that happens on your first adventure. Although sometimes you'll have a really hard adventure. You just we have played a couple adventures that just were really hard. And
Here we go. We already have our answer.
really,
What happens when a Grimion gets +1 combat? No effect. The Grimion's Mistress ability is a special attack and not modified.
so we would have
Not
survived
affected by
in 1.
modifiers.
Yeah.
We would have survived in 1. So this is a great example where, even though we played this game tons, there's new things in here.
Yeah,
But I really want to highlight page 53 of the adventure book.
answers our question.
Already answers our question. So here's an interesting another thing about Grimions. What happens when you re-roll? If to hit roll of 1 is re-roll, do you still summon a Grimion? Yes.
Oh wow!
So re-rolls don't save you there. So if
If you have rolled the 1.
yes,
anytime, yeah,
anytime you roll,
okay,
and it's in there. So this is a perfect example. Use this as an example, not to think badly about the game, but as us as terrible content creators who didn't bother to find the FAQ and read that first.
yeah.
So we would have beat that.
Oh, we would have,
Handedly.
because we almost
100%.
did.
In fact, I'm giving myself 40 extra.
In fact, I'm taking away this injury.
And I get a loot.
But so let's imagine that we did successfully do that. It's now the end of the adventure.
What would happen?
So well, you would get your reward. So whatever adventure you're doing, you'd get your reward. Read what it says. Roll for your rewards, etc. We now have Darkstone. So some of us have been carrying Darkstone and Darkstone items. So there's certain items in this deck that will have a little Darkstone symbol on it. Like this guy here has 2 Darkstone symbols.
Mhm.
And for each Darkstone that you have, you roll a d6. So
you
I have
1 Darkstone. So roll
2
1
Darkstones. On a 1, 2, or 3, you take some corruption from that. So I get 1 corruption.
I don't take anything.
I get 1.
So for every 1, 2, or 3 you roll, you now do a willpower save. So I succeed.
I succeed. So
If you
we're
had-
all fine.
We're all fine, but if you had failed, you would get corruption. If you ever get 5 corruption, you then roll to mutate, which is in the back of the adventure book.
D36.
A
And you turn
D36
into a hideous
or
and or
66.
really fun monster.
Roll a d36, so that's
Or
you
66. I
roll
don't remember what it's called.
2
36,
d6 The first one is the 10 spot, and the second one is the 1 spot.
Yep.
And
So
you refuse
So
the
you
chart.
want to roll them one at a time. So you're like, this is the 10s, and then this is the.
Or you just do red's 10s.
Bam.
Like that.
So 42. JC would have had eye grown over. All your critical hits do 1 less damage.
Oh, that would have sucked.
Which would have made sense though, because you got injured.
A gouged
Right.
eye. Yeah.
So that's Brimstone Adventures. What we're going to do is we're going to end this video here, and then we're going to make a new video talking about specifically about the campsite, traveling to the camp, all the camping stuff, because it is all new, wonderful stuff. Thank you if you've stuck around for this very long learn to play. But you know, it's one of those games where once you start playing it, for me, it's just worth it. It's so much fun.
I love it.
I love it. Even messing up rules like this, it's just like,
Oh, yeah.
Oops.
We made it pretty far in that fight
I'm
with
bitter
an
about
awful...
it till the end of time.
Yeah, Odin's grumpy about it, but
I'm
you know, what's he know?
No, it's fine.
JC, you've played a lot of Brimstone. Like, how do you feel specifically Gates of Valhalla stacks up?
I love Gates of Valhalla. Gates of Valhalla is so I've always been a fan of Tradera as an alternate world.
Targa.
Or Targa. Yes, thank you. I've always been a fan of the Targa Plateau as an alternate world. And so getting to see more of that content is cool, but also the Viking heroes, the team abilities. I love the way that the team abilities work. I like the Viking heroes rage stuff is really cool. And I think the theme carries through really well for the Vikings. It just makes sense that if you're gonna have this network of portals to other worlds, you know, that pop up, that Vikings are going to be finding their way in there and exploring, because they, you know, are just historically people who, you know,
I've done that.
Yeah, just find their way to places.
And I haven't played nearly as much, but it does. The regular games seem much more like the tabletop trope of you met in a tavern.
Yeah.
Kind of like, well, I guess we'll go do this thing together.
Yeah.
Where at least this, like with that team tactic, it does seem more like we're a group, and so we've got plans, and we're gonna
We've trained together. And We've done things.
Yeah. And so it gives a little bit of flavor to it that way, but also like I like that your abilities kind of, again, in the regular game they're made so that like everybody's got their own little thing that kind of comes together. This are definitely more like, oh, you're doing things to help the person next to you because you know them.
Yeah.
Like the I didn't really get to use it, but like, oh, I can block that attack for my friend. So
exactly.
It makes
so good.
It makes it just a little bit more sense.
They really did a great job. So I'll show you the box here because I think I look just like this guy here. Like that. There's an uncanny.
That's gotta be a coincidence.
There's an uncanny resemblance there. I'm historically Spanish. I'm a conquistador in the Forbidden Fortress rulebook.
Yeah.
All that said, I like Gates of Valhalla more.
Yeah.
I think they're both wonderful. I think they're amazing additions to Shadows of Brimstone.
For sure.
But there is, JC can attest to this. I'm always kind of like, I like to play the Paladin, and I like to play I want to, as a group, let's do better, and like let's work together as a group. The Vikings encompass, like it is built into their abilities, helping each other. I give everyone a rage that's adjacent to me. So like, stand next to me, friends. You're doing attacks, and like you're buffing us, that everyone around us and stuff. So I love that. The conquistadors really capture the I'm greedy.
Yeah.
I'm here because I'm a bad person.
I'm here to exploit this land.
Exactly. And it's one of those things where they somehow captured that spirit in the theme.
Yeah.
In that game, all of those team abilities are like, I get a benefit.
Yeah.
All of your character benefits are like, this is for me. I want to kill things. I want to use ambition. I don't want to help you out. I want to get the kill. I want to get the loot. And while that's amazing and theme, like very thematic and like perfect, I prefer this one because it's like, I want to help out my buddies. I want to, be a party player kind of thing. So I just absolutely love both of these so far. We've got to play both of them a bit.
Well, and one of the other things I think that is really cool is The core sets for Brimstone are great, and I love them. But you can see the growth over time.
See the growth,
in adventures. You can see where the core sets, all have distinct heroes and abilities and stuff. I think it's really interesting with the Vikings that they managed to make heroes that all have the same abilities when you boil it down, but all are very dynamically different.
All different, yes.
Like just with the starting gear that I have and the one hero upgrade that I get, I play wildly different than the Huskarl.
Yeah.
And the Huskarl plays wildly different from the Jarl. And even though like you and I are both doing combat, our combat structure is totally different.
Yeah.
And like even though the Huskarl has a ranged option, you get the combat option as well. But you're up here tanking. You're like taking these negating damage here and there. Like we're all just playing so differently.
Yeah.
Just from the base game. Like this is without level ups. This is without getting new gear and stuff.
Yeah.
I love it.
And I think less from like the mechanic standpoint. I own just the Swamps starter. You guys have everything.
Yeah.
I just have the Swamp starter at home, and just from like using that one a little bit, like the components over here pretty much the same. The models have gotten better.
Oh yeah.
For sure.
Like especially on the hero end of things, like the heroes are much more detailed than the ones that come out of the other boxes. If you're looking at this for a, hey, is this something I want to buy kind of thing, the detail on those is a lot better. I think the monsters, some of the ones in that set are pretty detailed as well. These ones have a lot of details on them that are really great.
Yeah. Well, and again, like we mentioned it very early on in the video, everything goes back in the box, which is another point of growth for the flying frogs.
Well, and this is another interesting thing. This is also, I think, from like a product perspective, really interesting for the flying frogs. The revised core sets are bigger. They're a wider box, and they're more expensive now. I think they're like $120 or something like that MSRP. Which they are worth it. They are worth $120.
Yeah.
Even though, like, yes, you're right. The models I think have gotten better. I would still highly advise go get a revised core set. They are absolutely wonderful. You get tons and tons and tons of gameplay. But this is a smaller box and it's at a cheaper price point for them. They can have I think, and this is, I should have looked this up, but I think it's a $99 price point. So it's one of those things. There is a mental jump that people have between a $99 game and a $120 game.
Yeah.
I know for a lot of people that $30 really goes a long way and matters, but like if you think at like kind of grand scale of things, like if you're going to spend that much on a game, does like $30 really matter? And it does. There's a mental difference, right? So it'd be nice for them to have this.
So I'm just going, I think regular price is $110, but you can pre-order it Miniature Market or other places, 81, 85, somewhere in that ballpark.
Yeah, so it puts it under the $100 threshold, which is important.
Yeah.
The other amazing thing is these pair very well with the core sets. So
they do.
Swamps of Death, which is one of the original core sets, is the same other world as Valley as the Serpent Kings, and then City of Ancients is the same Targa world as this. So as far as sets going together and combining very well, it's a really awesome expansion option from having the core set plus this as your first expansion.
Yeah.
It gives you a bunch. So that's everything. It's just so good. It's just so good. I'm excited to see what the other content that's coming out. There's all the stretch goals and all the other additional content that's going to add more and more to this game to make it, just as big as core Brimstone. So I think that wraps it up for this video.
Yeah.
In the next video, we will go over leveling up, and we will go over going to camp.
Yep.
I think those are the two big kind of outliers. And then we'll probably have a third video where we don't play and we don't teach, but we'll go over specific rules. So we'll have a third video where we talk about things like how allies work,
Oh yeah.
Some more of those advanced rules, like
Yeah.
the advanced rules, allies, other like interactions with other rules.
Yeah.
And we'll get that third video out hopefully. Again, thank you all so much.
Thanks for hanging out.
Yeah.
Come find us on Twitch, twitch.tv/Elympian, where you can find Odin, our wonderful mod here, or JC, my co-host. On Wednesdays, we do usually a what's happening in tabletop news channel. Fridays are kind of like our free-for-all day. Like we played some Lost Ruin Arnak recently. We get a lot of board games on the table. We also do TTRPGs every now and then. And then Sunday's our big day. We will do a 4-hour stream every Sunday. That's
play some big
4
games.
p.m. to 8 p.m.
Usually something like
Pacific dates. PDT. On Wednesdays and Fridays, it's 6 to 8 PDT. So come hang out with us. We appreciate you. And thank you very much.
Adios.